You're listening to the Everything Swallow podcast with Sean and Shaina Swallow.
House roll, that's right, it's the swallow.
And your fluffy shoes.
Because the swallows are here. Make yourself comfortable.
Giggle, giggle, giggle.
That's right.
Oh, I sound real loud.
You do?
I think so. In my ears, I do.
To the Everything Swallow podcast.
It could
with
just
Sean
be the
and Shaina
volume
Swallow.
level.
Check.
Playing it again. We're playing it again.
That's
Hello,
right.
everybody.
Good morning.
Turn your volume down. We're hearing each other so much better now.
Yeah.
Because I've got some new equipment. Look at that. New cables.
New cables, new stuff. Cha-cha-cha.
Well, guess what? We have a very esteemed guest with us here today on this Sunday morning edition
it's so exciting.
of Everything Swallow. We have our guest, Tom, is with us. Hello, Tom.
Hey, everybody.
That's so great.
It's good to have you. And his, look, I'm putting you on the spot. His significant other, his better half, Alinda. Say hello.
Hello.
We can't be in the room and not at least say hi.
And not at least say hi, exactly.
You don't have to say anything else if you don't want to. All right.
It's good to see you guys.
So good to see you
Oh,
guys.
man, it's been too long.
Yeah.
It has. It's been way too long.
I know, when you guys got out of the car, I was like, oh, man, I missed them.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I know, we were looking
life
through
gets
pictures.
busy and life gets crazy. You guys all well know that. And all of a sudden, like, a year goes by.
Yeah.
And you're like...
Or more.
Yeah, it's like, where'd the year go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I remember hanging out with them, and I miss hanging out with them, and then all of a
Yep.
sudden it's like, it's been long enough, and you think, well, I can't call them now. I haven't called them in a year. You know what I mean? And that's
I know.
Sean who?
Yeah, exactly.
Who is this?
Yeah,
Blowing
yeah,
up my
yeah.
phone.
But that's why, you know what? That's what the podcast has been great about, too. It's given us a reason to call people that maybe we've lost contact with and the world need to know about.
Sure, yeah.
I feel so small. Do I look small sitting here? Because I'm sitting
You're in a low chair.
I'm sitting in an old Methodist church pew. Can you tell? See the thing on the back?
And he really is,
Yeah.
folks. He really is. It's not a...
Yeah, this is where I would put my the songbook.
Yeah,
Your
the
hymnal.
hymnal.
Hymnal, yep.
So I feel like I'm really short, like I'm a little kid. Now it doesn't hurt that you're 6'9" or whatever.
Yeah, I'm a giant. But
Yeah, so you do make.
How tall are you?
6'8".
I was going to say 6'8".
Oh, I was so far off.
You give him an extra inch. Yeah, like he needs it.
Yeah, don't give him any more inches. How have you guys been?
Man, busy and ridiculous because, you know, shortly after you changed jobs, I changed jobs and took a whole new endeavor on, and that was a god-awful learning curve. You
Yeah.
know, going from network administrator to a network engineer was really a strange transition for me, especially where... You know, the other job was people saying, I can't print. I can't get to the internet. I can't get to the song dumps and all
my
these
password's expired.
Right.
Yeah, and my password's expired. I forgot my password, even though they have a sticky note on their monitor, which is never supposed to happen, ever. And sometimes, yeah. And sometimes the people that make the most know the least,
Know
which
the
blows
least.
my mind.
Yeah,
Like,
Right.
yeah.
why are you in charge here again? Tell me that,
Yeah.
because you have no clue of what's going
How
on.
did you get that money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, but in the new job, it was just kind of like no one calls you, no one needs you, but your workload is colossal.
Really?
And then you're designing telecom circuits from city to city, state to state, country to country.
Wow.
And you have a quota that you've got to hit, and you've got a certain workload you've got to maintain, or they get rid of you.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
That sounds hard.
It is kind of hard. Yeah, so a couple of times I came home, I was like, honey, I don't know if I did the right thing.
I know, right? I don't know. Might
Can I
be
change
looking.
your password for you? Ask me to change your password.
But then one of the upsides of the apocalypse we're living in was everybody's working from home.
Right.
So then I haven't gone to the office in months.
Yeah.
Nor now do I even want to, because
Right. You don't need to, really.
I'm so much more productive at home because I'm not sharing a microwave with 80 other people.
Right.
I'm not sharing a single bathroom with 75 other men.
Yeah.
I'm not sharing a single fridge with 85
Other
other
Yeah.
people.
Wow.
And you require a lot of food.
I do. Yeah, food prep. We were food prepping this morning before we came down to see you guys.
God, I can't even imagine what you guys should do a show. On
You
just
should
your
do a
food
show
prep.
on
I'd
your
be
food
very
prep.
interested
Man,
in
maybe
that.
that could be even like a remote podcast video of you guys.
Absolutely.
Just watching how we do like
Let's do it.
15 pounds of chicken a week and all these veggies and all
I
this
want to
rice.
see
Oh,
it
my
myself.
God.
Yeah.
Like I
It's-
do.
It does get crazy.
We're coming to your place.
I bet you guys
Yeah.
have
I'll
it
bring
down
the
like a
catch
science.
right above your head. I got the camera.
Yeah, we do actually because
Yeah.
we've done it for so long and it's just a way of
Yeah.
life. So
Yeah.
I'd rather like really kind of bust it in one day and then I have food for a week.
Yeah.
Then every day at lunchtime I've got to wonder, what am I going to eat? Where am I going to go?
Right.
And it saves a lot of money because eating out is expensive,
Yeah.
as you well know.
Oh, yeah, it
Even
is.
with
I just want to be able to
Doesn't stop us,
adopt
though.
that mentality and maintain it.
Yeah, how do you keep it up?
That's what seems like the hard thing is how do you maintain
it's
it
that
all
strange
the
thing.
time?
It's just like training and bodybuilding, right?
Right.
And those two things kind of do go hand in hand with the athletic life. They really
Right,
do,
right.
Because you can't train at the level you have to train at if you can't eat properly,
Right.
So I never like the word diet because diet's a bad
It's
word.
a bad word.
And nutrition plan is how you should look at it. You have to have a nutrition plan
Yeah.
and eat things you like.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like pizza and ice cream,
Right.
although I like pizza and ice cream. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong.
Right.
But for instance, some people hate broccoli.
Right.
Okay, so don't commit to a nutrition plan that has you eating 18 servings of broccoli a week. That's dumb. You're going to fail, accept you're going to fail,
Yes.
and don't do it.
Don't do it.
But maybe you love Brussels sprouts. I hate Brussels sprouts,
Yeah.
but every time she makes Brussels sprouts, the whole house smells like a giant fart.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
And that is disgusting. I walk in the door, I'm like, oh my God.
Brussels sprout day.
Or one of the dogs sick or something. You know,
Right.
like, what is going on? But she's baking Brussels sprouts.
Yep.
So, but if that's what you
They're
like,
so
you gotta
good.
do
That's what
those
you eat.
things.
Yeah.
So, like for folks that are like limited with like meat, some people are like super against red meat or something. But fish and chicken are in abundant supply.
Yeah.
So and you can't get enough protein from just eating beans and tofu. I'm sorry,
Right.
you kind of can't.
Right.
Because you'd have to eat such an inhuman amount, you'd be sick.
Yeah.
Especially to get your size.
Yeah, I weigh a lot, so I have to have so much protein just to maintain
Well, I was
what
gonna
I
say,
weigh.
how would that even benefit you? Being a bodybuilder, being vegetarian, vegan, you know what I mean?
You know what's funny is I
Because-
don't know a single successful one.
Yeah.
And as soon as people point to somebody that's on YouTube or something
Yeah.
training and are a vegan, but they still never look as good as the guys that are on the stages
Right.
that are the professionals.
And
you know what I mean?
have the balanced meal
Yeah,
plan.
yeah.
I mean,
Right.
because that's the one thing about you. You eat very balanced. You're
Yeah,
very
true, yeah.
well-rounded.
6 times a day,
Yeah.
X amount of protein, X amount of carbohydrates, X
Yeah.
amount of fats.
Yeah.
And you can't eliminate, the big popular thing now is everybody just going keto.
Yeah,
but
what do you think about that?
I don't like it because to me, it's the recycled Atkins plan.
Right, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, right.
So
I
I think
thought the
different
same
packaging.
thing.
Fats and meats are great, but you can't eliminate an entire food group, and here's why. Your body can make a protein by
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
Your body can make a fat, but your body cannot make a carbohydrate.
Yeah.
So you got to give it something from somewhere.
And you just eat the right carbs, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
because they're good ones,
Yeah.
and
They're
there are
amazing
bad
ones,
ones,
yeah.
right? And that's what I thought too, because I saw this whole study on people who were really struggling trying to lose weight, and they couldn't, and that's because they cut out all the carbs, even the good ones. They
Mm-hmm.
ate very minimal. When they said you should have cut out the bad ones and raised the good ones,
Yeah.
because those are the ones your body burns through.
Like donuts and stuff.
No,
Yeah. Krispy Kreme.
Those are the good carbs.
Those are.
Well, but here's the thing is that you.
oh,
Go
you're
ahead.
okay.
Well, no, I was going to say, here's the thing is that, you can cut the carbs out and you're going to lose weight. But as soon as you add those right back in, guess what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You're going to put all that weight back on.
Right.
So,
And you're not really helping your body learn, right? Because
Correct.
I guess that's what I've always known. It's like, okay, you starve your body, then when you give it back to your body, it indulges in it because it's been starved on it the whole time.
Absolutely.
When, like what you guys have done is you have just taught your body the right things to have,
Yeah.
the right things to eat, and you guys still eat pizza and you guys still eat ice cream and everything else,
do?
but it's not every day.
Right.
It's not every week,
Mine is
probably.
real strategic. So, like, when you have leg day at the gym, that takes the most amount of calories out of you. That takes the most amount of effort to achieve. And you weigh more from the waist down than you do the waist up because of the density of your legs.
Right.
And the amount of blood mass and all that kind of stuff because how gravity works. But so on leg day, I'm always guaranteeing you I'm eating ice cream on leg day.
Right.
In the evening.
Because you're burning it.
Yeah, well, I've burnt it all off in a day, and now I need to, like, replenish my tank a little bit, or else come Monday, I feel like I got hit by a truck.
Yeah.
So, I'll come home, I have a pound of pasta and meat sauce with,
A pound of pasta.
I said that's the whole box.
Yeah, a pound
Holy
of pasta
shit.
with meat sauce and mushrooms. And that's my recovery meal every leg
carb.
day.
That's a hard carb.
Yeah, it's a
But as
hard
soon as
starchy
you
carb,
put
but
it
I
in,
need
it's
it.
burning. I mean, it is. You're like a furnace that is just constantly burning.
Yeah.
So it never sits in your gut.
Yeah.
For any amount of time.
And I do want to be fair and point out that I am 52 years old, so it's not like I'm just a 25-year-old that can eat pizza and go work out, and I got abs. Look at me. Sometimes those genetics and that youth plays a big role.
Yeah.
But as you age, your body tilts another direction altogether.
Yeah. Oh,
You got to be able to wrap your head around that.
Right. Well, that's kind of what happens to like college kids, and like they'll be football players, and they eat this incredible diet because they're training all the time, and then they get out of school or they get out of the league or whatever, and then they keep eating that same way, but they're not burning half as much as they were, and that's how they gain all the weight.
Yeah.
Because you don't balance your activity to your eating.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And I can't I can't say like for men particularly, we have that double-edged sword of you don't produce as much testosterone.
Yeah.
Your metabolism slows down. And for a man, that's a double-edged sword because your testosterone plays an important role in your ability to maintain muscle mass, proper blood pressure, your libido, all of that jazz, body fat, belly fat particularly is all kind of tied
all the B's, body fat, belly fat, boners.
Yeah, the 3 B's, the killer bees.
The killer bees of the over 50 male.
Yeah, man. Got to be prepared for those killer bees.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I think what people don't understand, and even men don't understand, is that all begins in your 30s. Like you're depleting.
The downhill slide begins at like 32 or 35.
And because you're still younger, you don't even think it's happening to you.
Right.
And then that's why when they turn 40, they feel like utter crap.
Yeah.
And they don't even know why, because they don't realize that their testosterone has been slowly depleting that whole time. And now you have your tank's on empty.
Yeah.
And now you're like, shit, I got to do something.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, when I turned 40, my gut grew to be 40. I mean, immediately. I grew a gut immediately.
You got a 40-inch waist in a month.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell, 40? Shit, I'm still trying to get down to 40. You know what I mean? I was like, holy crap, what the hell happened here?
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. And plus, I had food prep.
Well,
I was just still eating the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for a while, though, you went nuts and was cycling like a madman.
Yeah, he's still cycling.
You dropped like 80 pounds or something, if I recall.
Right close to 100, we both did.
Yeah, it was an incredible amount of weight.
Yeah, and so
and you also were not 30 at that point.
No.
I want to point that out to your listeners.
Not,
I was in.
You were in your 40s.
Yeah, a man over 40 that was doing this here. So.
Yeah, I was over 40, for sure. And
but I just want to say,
able to kind of maintain
as a woman, it's not fair. I prepped all his food.
Yeah.
I told him what time to eat it.
I
ate the same,
shit.
and it just melted off of him like nothing. And that's not fair.
Kept my boobies, though.
Well, that's good. That's right. You keep them. Give me a break.
And I got down to 185, which I think is just too thin for me.
Yeah, it was a little thin.
But I can maintain myself right around 210. If I get up to 210, which is where I was at, I think right after this COVID hit, maybe a month or so ago.
Yeah.
And I get back on the bike, but that's the difference. I get back on that bike 2 days a week on that bike,
and
25 miles, 30 miles each time. And
that 10 pounds is gone in a week.
Yeah, and I dropped the weight, and then I can touch my toes again.
Yeah. We'll see them.
Exactly, both. I can do both things. Because that's the one thing I've noticed as I'm approaching 50. It's harder to bend over.
Yeah.
If I don't ride my bike.
Yeah, get the regular exercise.
During the winter time, I'm definitely stiff.
Well, I'll say this: even my flexibility is a far cry from what it should be. Simply because being this tall and weighing so much, when I get down on the floor with the dogs or something, it is a Herculean effort to get off the floor.
The floor, right?
And I mean, it's so different than doing a squat, or it's so different than doing like some kind of like leg machine or some kind of other body motion.
I can't even imagine what yoga would be like for you.
Yeah, and you know what? People at work always mess with me like, Tom, you should come do yoga. I said, listen.
Do you know how heavy your arm would get?
I said, could you imagine? I weigh 300 pounds. Could you imagine me taking this foot and putting it up over this head and tucking it behind me some way? Why would I benefit from that? How is that helpful?
Yeah.
That sounds like the most awful,
leg
painful,
weighs?
disgusting thing I could do.
Yeah. Well, how big around are your thighs?
I don't know. 30-something, probably.
Yeah, yeah. We were watching this
They're a
power,
waist.
power
They're the size of one of my model's waists.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We were watching a powerlifting show, and the guy on there's his thighs were 42 inches each.
Oh, yeah.
And
Guys like Thor
high.
Bjornsson and Eddie
That's
Hall.
what it was. It was Thor, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Thor.
Those guys. You know, people think I'm big when they see me at 6'8", 300 pounds, but then you realize Thor Bjornsson is 6'10" and 450 pounds.
Yeah.
And
That's
42-inch
amazing.
thighs.
And right here in Colorado, we have another world strongman, Brian Shaw, that lives right up in Fort Lupton. And he's been on the World's Strongest Man and at the
I think
Arnold.
we saw his
and
name on there.
all that stuff. And he's also like 6'9" and like 450.
Wow.
And it's insane, the strength of these guys.
Yeah.
But I can also tell you they are not flexible.
No.
I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're wearing...
Because I'm a junior version of those guys,
Yeah.
and I'm not flexible at all.
Well,
so I
and
can
then
tell
they
you.
can't even touch their head.
Yeah.
Oh, probably not. They
It's
can't
hard to wash your hair.
And
It's hard
they
to like
put their
scratch your back.
deodorant
you know?
on, right?
I'm always like rubbing like a bear rubbing against a tree in the woods. That's how I scratch my back. I get against the wall and just kind of dig my back into the doorway.
Yeah.
I
Or like,
met a guy once.
why
Couldn't
don't you
even wash
scratch
his
my
hair.
back?
Your biceps so big you can't even touch your own head.
Yeah, right.
Gets in the way.
Great. That's so great. I do like watching that strongman show though.
Yeah, it's on like
It's always
channel
over in Europe.
50.3.
Yeah,
which we don't have cable. We
cable.
still have rabbit ears. So if you've got rabbit ears, 50.3.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they
And,
move
it's on all the time.
incredible
Oh yeah, it's
things.
insane. Yeah,
They pick up
insane.
cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
These giant boulders, they got to pick up a boulder that's as big as a Volkswagen and carry it for 50.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? Funny enough, most of those guys too, they're always in their 30s because by the time you're 40 in that sport, you're ancient.
Yeah.
And by the time you're like 42, then you're just a commentator.
Yeah.
Your knees.
Because your knees, your spine, your joints, your hands can't keep up anymore. So all these guys have to claim their fame and make their money and make their endorsements and do all their cool stuff
In such a
prior
short
to
window.
40.
Yeah.
Plus, they also at 40, as Sean and I both just confessed, your body shifts radically after 40.
Yeah.
And after 50, it's even worse.
Yeah.
So that's why you never see these like legendary guys like Magnus von Samuelsson and these guys ever compete again because they're 50 now.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
there watching.
They're dinosaurs. It's like the NBA. You know, you rarely see an NBA superstar past 40.
Yeah.
Or the NFL.
Totally.
Right.
Look at Brady.
Yeah,
Right.
very few.
Or,
very, very, very few.
Manning. Look at Manning. They said he couldn't even tie his own shoes.
Right.
But it's always the quarterbacks.
amazing.
Like, you don't see the linemen
Right.
playing into their 40s.
Oh,
you know?
hell
You don't
no.
see
The ones getting beat up. No
Yeah.
way. You don't see that. My
Running
brother-in-law.
Yeah, running backs never go past 40. You know?
My brother-in-law has been a bodybuilder his whole life.
Yeah.
And he's now 60, maybe 62.
Yeah.
And he has had both knees replaced,
Yeah.
both elbows replaced. He just had a hip replacement.
Yeah.
You know,
Watch the sad documentary on Netflix, if it's still on Ronnie Coleman, who was the greatest bodybuilder of all time. He won the Arnold several times. He won the Olympia several times. He was like 300 pounds at like 3% body fat. One of the only humans to ever get that low but be that big. But when you see Ronnie Coleman now, who's barely 50, he has a walker. He takes oxygen. He's had knees replaced, hips replaced.
'Cause he
He's
just
had
goes so
spine
hard.
surgery.
and
he
it was
just went so hard.
unhealthy being that
Big
because
and
to
that
get
strong.
there, it
I
took
mean,
so much.
Yeah, he paid a price that most were willing not to pay, and that's why he reached that legendary
He's
status.
that guy.
But now, you got him. There he
Unbeatable
is.
monster.
Yeah, just ridiculous amounts of body mass.
yeah.
Ridiculous amounts of body mass. And yet you see him now, and he just looks so
sad for him too, though.
in terms of
because you'd be so depressed.
Yeah, there he goes. See that in the hospital bed there,
in
and
the hospital.
there he is with a walker in one of those pictures down below there, and
Wow.
you know. But I mean, in his day, there was no equal on the planet now you see him.
Yeah, look at him, man.
He's in walking devices, and he's in.
Because his joints.
Oh, yeah. How he stands. You can see his elbows and shoulders are shot.
Yeah. Well, that's my brother-in-law. You could tell. Because, he wasn't... I mean, he's still very muscly, right?
Yeah.
But you can just tell he's not... They don't straighten out the way they should.
Yeah.
And he just hurts. Getting up, watching him get up and down off of the ground. When I worked at the cake shop with him, it was just like, oh my gosh, Jimmy, your poor knees.
Wow. Yeah. How does his skin even stay on?
Wow, look at that.
Those are lats?
Yeah, the lats. Wow. He had some of the biggest lats. Him and Dorian Yates had these lats.
That's a guy who has to have his clothes made.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You probably have
a hard time.
It's crazy for me to buy clothing because even, finally, just in the last few years, places like DXL and stuff finally realized that, not every big guy is a fat guy.
Right.
And not every tall guy is a beanpole that weighs 112 pounds or 6'5".
Right.
So the sizes you need are called, XLT. So it's, extra
tall.
large but tall.
Yeah.
And then you also need an athletic cut because your shoulders are really wide, but your waist is small. So if you get a 3X shirt, it's like a tablecloth blowing out around you.
Yep.
But
and
the
then
shoulders
you gather
are good
it all in and tuck it in.
Yeah. So finally, there's some clothing coming out 2XLT, 3XLT, and then this 3XLT athletic cut. But it's slim pickings.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure.
You got to buy it when you see it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it's gone and it's never coming back. So I got a lot of one-obs for dress shirts. It's the one dress shirt I found that fits right, looks right, and I have to wear it for 10 years.
Yeah. Because I won't find another one.
There's no more.
Why don't you take that shirt and make a pattern out of it?
I should make a pattern.
Oh
make
my God.
some more shirts.
Take that
if you
shirt.
had
You have to
a
cut
website
take it
for
apart.
just large athletes, you would take off with that because we can't buy clothes and not everyone can afford a tailor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I can always buy a big sloppy suit and then have this amazing Italian tailor just kind of cut it to just me.
Yeah.
But that takes an $800 suit to a $1,600 suit in about
real fast. Real fast.
Yeah.
And if you're going to pay that, you might as well just have it handmade from the beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you can pick
and then at least
fabric
there's a
and
pattern.
everything.
Yeah, and I can say, hey, I need 2 more pair of pants next week because I've got some
exactly.
shows to do or some gigs to
And
do.
they have it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Boy, that might be an idea for you
We
guys.
should
'cause
do
it is a niche market. I mean, but it's a starving niche market. You know what I mean? There's so many of us out there.
There's a lot of you guys out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of us out there, and none of us can shop at normal places.
You can't go to Walmart.
We can't go to Target and Walmart and get a shirt, or the average dress store don't even have your size. When you tell me you need a 38-inch sleeve, but you only need maybe say a 19 or 20-inch neck.
Yeah.
It's we have 20-inch necks, but the sleeves are only 32 inches long.
Right, because
they have a 38-inch sleeve.
They're building it for a short little fat man.
Yeah. Well, they have a 38-inch sleeve, and it's got an 11-inch neck.
Yeah.
It's I don't have a pencil for a neck. I've got an actual neck. I can't button that. You know what I mean?
I love it. It's true, man. It's true.
You are disproportionate.
I'm telling you.
And that's the problem. That's the problem.
You and Big Booty Judy, you both have the same problem.
Yeah.
Can't get it to fit you
Small
in
waist,
the right
big
places,
bottom.
right? Tiny waist, big hips. You know what I mean? Same thing.
If capris ever come in style for men, I'll be set.
Yeah.
I could just go buy regular pants that are too short and I'd be good to
They'll
go.
fit you just fine.
Yeah, or sundresses for men.
Yeah.
I would be in.
Oh, see,
I
am working on that.
See the one Shaina's making, actually.
I am working on
they're
that.
They're amazing. I wear them. They're a little Ichabod Craney right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but they're awesome.
Ichabod Crane, no. They're a little...
Oh, not Ichabod Crane. Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But they're so
But they're not
nice.
as long.
Yeah.
It's awesome. They've got kind of a mid-sleeve,
Yeah.
a swooping
What do you think, honey? Would that be good on me?
I like to keep them a little short.
Now, on you, it would be a miniskirt. But
No, it might be
Show off
closer
my
to
quads.
a half shirt.
yeah, it'd show off more than your quads. Might show a lot of your glutes.
Oh, God. Yeah. A little smile.
That is okay. That is absolutely
God.
okay. Well, you look great.
Thanks.
I mean-
I feel good considering all I've gone through, and I'm not sure I'm out of the woods yet.
Yeah.
And I know we probably wanted to talk about that today at some point.
Yeah.
And as a segue, though, is saying that it's, you can be a large athlete and people think, well, guys like you would never get, cancer, or guys like you would never get, the normal
Sick.
illnesses
Yeah.
that most would get because you are not, drinking 6 gallons of pop a week, and you're not,
your
smoking
diet is
10
impeccable.
packs of cigarettes a week and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So then how does a guy that, lives the way I've lived for the past, I've been weighing my food for probably 25 plus 30 years.
Wow.
How does a guy end up with cancer, you know? And particularly prostate cancer, because it's, everybody thinks it's the old man's disease.
Right.
Well, Grandpap had that. He was 85.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I had it at 46, and I would have been dead at 50.
Yeah.
So I had to make some hard life decisions, and she's been there through the entire good, bad, and ugly of it.
Yeah.
And the 2 things it doesn't prepare you for, number 1, is the mental impact of, okay, so wait, you telling me that I live for like weightlifting and music.
Right.
Because, I'm a guitar player, and I love music, and yet the heavy metal helps me lift my weights because it puts me where I need to be in my head and gets my adrenaline moving and gets my focus created. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, you can still keep playing your guitar, but you're going to need to go into treatment, and we're going to take your testosterone level to 0, and we're going to do this and do that and remove this and remove that. There's all these weird side effects.
And you couldn't work out during that time.
No.
Yeah.
No, and I tell you, we mentioned the testosterone factor earlier. When you're used to having your testosterone, say, normal levels for man, it's a really bizarre scale how they do it, and I don't even know how accurate it is, because it goes from like 200 to 1200 is normal.
Right.
Well, that's like saying I've got gas in my car if it's between empty and full.
Right.
Exactly. Then I'm fine.
Yeah, you're not driving to Chicago on a third of a tank of gas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and you're also not going to drive real far in the gym on a third of a tank of testosterone.
Right.
So when they plummet you to 0 as part of what they call gene therapy, I've never felt so bad in my life.
Yeah.
I thought, is this what cancer feels like? Because I feel really, really bad.
Yeah. And even mentally, right?
Oh, my
Because
God, yeah. That's the whole thing,
testosterone-
like, imagine
big
like
time.
the lockdowns, all the, everybody couldn't go to the gym, everybody couldn't go here, everybody couldn't go there. It weighs on you mentally.
Yeah.
Severely.
Yeah.
But when you take an athlete and that's all you do, 6 days a week, 2 hours of your day is dedicated to this. Come hell or high water, this is what you do.
Yeah,
This is what
you're
you
gonna
are.
be there. Yep.
And then you get that pulled out from under you without a lockdown,
Yeah.
without anything else, just because you got cancer.
Yep.
And you're in treatment, and it's the weirdest adjustment. And then you feel your body shift because they shut your testosterone off, and they do all these other weird little things in their arsenal to try to help you. But it doesn't feel like they're helping you.
Right.
Right, I bet.
So
Feels like they're trying to secretly kill you.
yeah. So then the other part of that sword that you're really not prepared for, no matter what kind of job you have, is the expense that you incur.
Oh, yeah.
So my journey bankrupted me.
Yeah.
And I had insurance.
Yeah.
So after my insurance paid what it was going to pay, you still owe 20%.
Yep.
Well, when your 20% adds up to $100,000.
Yeah.
And all these little clinics and all these little treatment centers come after you.
Yeah.
Every little place you ever stepped a foot in.
Yeah. I mean, I had 3 or 4 people on my porch in my neighborhood serving me papers on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Like, your neighbors are all looking like, hey, why is there a guy in a suit and tie handing Tom papers in the neighborhood? One time it was done by, like, a sheriff deputy even comes by,
my
and,
God.
they think you're getting arrested. They're like,
Yeah,
hey, there's
you
a
do
guy.
too, because
Yeah.
you open the door and you're
Yep.
like, what the hell?
Yeah, and he's like, are you Tom Caraba? No, I'm not, actually. He just left.
Yeah,
If you
okay.
hurry up, you can catch him. He
Yeah.
just made a left at the end of the street.
That guy's so small.
Yeah, and he's this tiny little guy with a weird mustache.
You'll find him. Keep going.
Yeah, receding hairline.
Yeah.
You'll find him quick. But
Guy got me dressed as a FedEx guy once.
yeah,
Got out of his car, dressed as a FedEx guy with a FedEx box. It was like, are you Sean Swallow? And I was like, heck yeah, I'm Sean Swallow. And he slid those papers out from under that box. He was like, you've just been served. And I was like, you're a dick.
I know. Yeah,
What's in that box?
yeah.
What's in that box?
Yeah, just hope it's like the movie Seven. I hope it's not like the movie Seven.
Exactly.
What's in the box?
So it's not a head in there.
Yeah, so then the third time was like 8 p.m. It was already dark because it was wintertime. So
Yeah.
it's dark. Your doorbell rings. The dogs go bananas.
Yeah.
There's this poor lady on my porch. And you could tell, like, I don't know how much they get paid for each time they got to go out and serve somebody.
Yeah.
I think they might get maybe like $30 each time they go serve someone. And I answered the door. I'm thinking it was just someone looking for directions.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times our neighborhoods aren't real well marked with all those little weird, streets
Yeah.
that go everywhere. And she goes, hey, are you Tom? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, I have this for you. You're being served. And I was like, ugh. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm just doing my job. Like, she was like almost apologetic over it.
Yep.
And she was standing just behind me in the hallway, just kind of like checking it out through the door.
Yeah.
So then I realized, like, I had to find an attorney. Like, I never thought in my life, like, cancer would make me have to go get an attorney.
Right.
So I call this guy.
Same.
Right, man. I mean, right. You know,
It's just more stress.
Yeah, and it's like, of all the things we're worried about fixing in our world, like, no one ever wants to fix healthcare.
No.
You know, and I don't mean universal healthcare where, like, everything's free, because at the end of the day, somebody does have to pay for what things cost. Somebody
Right.
does.
Right.
But the costs can't be where they are now.
Right.
That'd be
They're
silly.
ripping
A single
people off.
MRI, a single MRI was like $16,000.
Yep.
Now, when you owe 20% of that $16,000 and you have 9 more of them over the next year,
Yeah.
that's suddenly a big chunk of money that you are not prepared to tolerate
Right.
Yep.
to have to shoulder. So, the lawyer told me, he said, listen, 20 years ago, all of my clients were out of control credit card spenders.
Yeah.
You know, 20 years ago, it was everybody who couldn't control their vacations, their spendings, their appetites.
Right.
He goes, but now it is flipped. He goes, 80% of my clients are medical.
Yeah, absolutely.
80%. In a way, it made me feel a little better because at first there was a little bit of shame attached to it.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like you
I'm,
failed.
I'm almost 50 years old and
Right.
I've got to go to get bankruptcy. Like,
Yeah.
Because
what?
I got cancer.
Because I got
Right.
cancer.
I
like,
didn't even get to have
you're like,
fun.
I didn't
got
buy a bunch
cancer.
of. Yeah, I
didn't buy a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
I didn't buy too many guitars. I didn't train at too many exclusive gyms. I didn't
Right.
fly around the world competing in shows I had no right doing.
Right.
You know, I just had cancer.
Yeah. You woke
And
up
so-
one day with cancer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I started this long, like it's a year to get you all done. Like
Yeah.
by the time
Yeah.
you file your papers
Yep.
and you
And
go
they
to your
contact
interviews
everybody.
and you go
Yep.
see everybody and they compile this big case and it's a foot thick of paperwork.
Yep.
And then at the end of it all, you're in front of a judge. You know,
Yeah.
again, like
Pleading your case.
yeah, like feeling like a criminal. Like, you know,
Yep.
I really didn't mean to push him off that cliff, officer.
Yeah.
I really didn't. I mean,
Well,
you
and
know.
then you the judge is looking at you. You look completely, you look healthy.
Yeah.
Look at you. You look
Yeah.
like you do live an extravagant lifestyle because of how you maintain
size.
yourself.
Yeah.
Why is
And
this
it's like-
giant here saying
right,
he's broke?
Exactly.
You know?
Cancer. Right.
Yeah.
Lance Armstrong.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
a great reference.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, then you go through that, but then your life is destroyed because now, I mean,
now you're starting over.
way over. And now you're 50 years old. You can't get a credit card to save your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to live on cash. So whatever money you make at your job,
Yep.
that is how you pay for everything.
Yep.
Lock, stock, and barrel.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was really embarrassing for me. I kind of hit a little low point when I tried to get a Finger Hut credit card. I got denied.
You know what? Good for Finger Hut.
Yeah.
That's the last thing you need, a Finger Hut.
Like, you know.
Get a Guitar Center credit card.
Yeah. Oh, I got denied for that too. That's right. I did. Honestly, got it. So she had to get one so I could buy a guitar. Right?
I love
That's
it.
right. That's
Hey,
right.
same story in this household, my friend. I can't get crap.
Man.
Shayna pays
so-
her bills.
God.
Sean goes, you don't even have a job, and they'll give you a credit card.
Yep. Yeah, totally. Oh, yeah, I don't get any credit card things
I
in the
have a
mail.
good
She gets them
payment
all the
history.
time.
That's
Yeah.
Wow.
Good
So,
times.
you know, here we are now. And, you know, after you get through your first journey and after I got my bankruptcy cleared, then they were like, well, now you just have to go through 5 years
Yeah.
of quarterly, you know, exams and tests to make sure you're clean. And that's your goalpost becomes that 5-year mark. When you
Right.
hit 5 years, then they tell you, okay, you're free to go. You're finally clear and free.
You're
Right.
cancer free.
Well, so I had 2 years into my 5
Yeah.
where all of my tests were zeros. And then all of a sudden, I was just telling her, I said, I'm about to just close the book on this. I'm not doing this for 3 more years.
Right.
Every quarter, your head starts to
Yeah,
play games.
yeah.
And you think, what if I get sick again? And what
happens?
Because now I've already played my bankruptcy card.
Right.
So I can't even go back into that again
Right.
and expect any different outcome.
Right.
You know? So I get a hold of my doc and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do my last test and I'm going to call this good.
Yeah.
And on that test, my numbers went up. So my doc says, well,
Can't call it good yet.
can't call it good just yet, but let's not panic because it's just your first one and, you know, you need a couple before we have to panic.
Right.
So the next quarter comes up, my numbers doubled. And then the next quarter came up, my numbers doubled again.
Oh.
So now I'm 3 quarters in. So now I'm almost another full year into my journey of,
Yep.
you know, of almost trying to be 5 years. So he finally says, well, we got to discuss care because, you know, something got out
Yeah.
We either didn't get it all, or it came back, or, you missed some little fraction of a
Something.
piece because, cancer is like anything else. It's super, super tiny. So
Yep.
in its in its basic state, you're not just going to see it with a microscope or
Right,
see it
right.
with a CAT scan or something like that. It needs to be more significant before you can actually visibly declare it. So all they can go by is blood tests and genetic tests and all those kind of things. So, but I told my doc, I said, you know what? Stop. Hold on. I don't know if I'm going to do this again.
Yeah.
And this is where some people and I really begin to differ. Maybe some of the listeners out there will think this is kind of a hot topic, and it should be. Because at the end of the day, you got to steer your own ship.
Yep.
And you still got to be you. I lost a big piece of me in
The
this
first time
around. I lost a big piece of me in my physicality,
Yeah.
in my, it's no secret that when you get cancer treatment for prostate cancer, one of the first things to go is you're sterilized immediately.
Yeah.
So, but at my age, I was done having kids, so I didn't really care necessarily that I was sterilized by the journey. Nor did she, for that matter, because
Right.
we're
She's-
older.
she's good too, yeah.
Our kids are in their 20s now.
Right.
You know,
You
so
don't
now
need any. Yeah.
They're party buddies. They
Right.
come over, we go to concerts, we have cookouts,
It's
they
their
bring
turn
the dogs
now.
over. Yeah, it's their turn now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're not doing this whole, kids in our 50s thing. So, I didn't really care about that. But what I did care about was how much of me I lost in the process of just the suffering, the pain, the shift, the knowing you're sterile,
Yeah.
as opposed to just choosing not to have
To have kids, yeah.
It's different when just medicine forces on you, no, you're really done.
Yeah.
You didn't ask to have your tubes tied. We just cut them and removed everything.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
While you weren't looking.
Yeah. While you weren't looking, we sterilized you. So, the other oddball thing becomes if you study chemo and see what it is and watch people that have gone through it, and me going to those appointments, I'm sitting in the office with people with their chemo poles and their gray skin and their, hair is all gone.
Yeah.
They weigh 100 pounds.
Yep.
And these people aren't even 100 years old either. These
Yeah.
are
Right.
everything from children to young men to men my age.
Yep.
And it's disheartening and sickening. So I wanted to look up. I was like, okay, what is chemo? What does it mean?
Yeah.
When I researched it and found it out, and anybody listening can do the same thing, dig into it deep enough, you'll find out it is a simple derivative of mustard gas
Yep.
from the World Wars. They figured out during autopsies after World War I and World War II that there was these extremely low levels in people of certain enzymes. Those certain enzymes they found out are related to cancer and cancer growth. So they got this brilliant idea of, if we could just mine the pieces of the mustard gas away that just affect these enzymes and these genetic things, we might be able to treat cancer. So, till this day, the formula has barely changed, and it's
Right.
now 70, 75-year-old technology.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, what else do we fight in our planet with 75-year-old technology?
Right.
No shit.
I mean, we were at the moon 50 years ago.
Right.
And look how much technology has changed. There's more technology in this iPhone
Yeah.
Oh, 10 times more.
than what
Yeah.
the NASA astronauts had in
Yeah.
1969.
Oh, 100 times probably more.
And yet we fight cancer with something from leftover World War I mustard gas.
Yep. And it's the chemotherapy is the one thing that your body can't recover from.
Yeah.
The damage that it does to your body,
Yeah.
you can never heal it.
And here's the discussion I had with my doc. I said, here's my problem with chemo. I said, and I get it because so many people listening to this might have gone through it, and I am by no means downplaying your suffering or trying to insult you. In fact, I'm on your side trying to bolster just how terrible your journey and your suffering
Yeah.
has been so that other people will understand. When you go to, let's say you have, like I had, prostate cancer, and they're trying to shrink your cancer in your prostate. But in the meantime, since that goes in IV, it's
Yeah.
bathing your
The
lungs,
whole
your
body.
brain, your heart, your liver. It's bathing all your good organs.
Yeah.
In this toxic,
toxic.
radioactive waste. That's why your hair falls out. That's
Yep.
why your skin turns gray. That's why you lose 100 pounds.
Well, it's killing you.
It is a controlled killing.
Yep.
So they hover you just to that brink of expiration.
Yep.
And just hold you back by an inch.
Yep.
And hope that that's severe enough to kill the cancer, but let you live.
Right.
And I have no interest in that,
Yeah.
quite frankly. I literally have zero interest in that.
Doing
I've
that
lived
again.
too long.
You've already done it once.
Well, I didn't have chemo the first
yeah,
time.
I remember you
I had
did.
the gene therapy and I had surgery.
And you went
Yeah.
with surgery room.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the surgery had the most difficult consequences in terms of your reproductive system, because that's what I said. It totally
Right.
sterilizes
Sterilizes you.
But in my stage of life, I didn't care about that.
Right.
as long as I could maintain a love life, I didn't care that I couldn't reproduce.
Right.
So, but then the gene therapy and the shooting your testosterone level to zero and all that kind of jazz just made you feel like garbage. So, my next step would have to be like a radiation, like a long-term 35 sessions or so of radiation. I'm not even crazy about that.
Yeah.
But I told my doctor, I said, chemo's out. No way.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So what is the radiation? Is that a controlled, localized?
Yeah, what would happen is, since they believe, at least, that, say, your cancer's here somewhere below your belly button,
Right.
because that's where the prostate gland is, almost down by the spine. So if you push your finger through a guy's belly button almost to the spine, you'd eventually intersect the prostate gland.
Wow.
Right? Or you can go from another direction that's
Your fingers are that long?
far less pleasant. Right.
Helps when you bend over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and guys, by the way, don't ever let a doctor tell you that he can tell you if you have prostate cancer or not because he put his finger in your butt. Don't
Yeah.
ever let him
Yeah.
say they can diagnose
No,
it because they can't.
No.
They do that for recreation.
Yeah, that is totally
Just to make them
Morbid
and
recreation.
someone else feel better.
yeah.
You can't tell anything like that.
Not at all. You'll never diagnose cancer with a touch. You
Yeah.
have to diagnose cancer with a blood test.
Yeah.
That's like checking eyesight by poking you in the eye.
Yeah. Can you see this? Meow.
No,
can't
well,
now.
you probably need some glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm on pause right now, is
Yeah.
basically what I'm saying. So I have one more test in August that I'll have to either make a decision of, will I go to radiation or will I just say, the hell with it, I'm not doing anything.
Does it make you wonder if you could go over to Europe, you could get some other kind of treatment?
Some holistic, some
Because they
alternative.
just do things a little differently over there.
They do. And
You
they
know?
seem to always have ideas that are out of the box
Yeah,
over there. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Here we're controlled by big pharma. We're
Big
controlled
time.
by patent
Right.
pen medicine. We're controlled by the insurance.
Yeah.
Companies.
Absolutely.
But over there,
Everyone
it's-
wants their money.
Yeah, over there it's not quite as crazy. And I think Eddie Van Halen went over there when he had his mouth cancer.
Yeah.
I think Eddie Van Halen had gone to Europe for treatments and things. And he clearly had enough money. He could go wherever he wanted.
went
It was
Right.
Eddie Van Halen. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Right,
It's like, but yet, the dude from Apple, Steve Jobs, still passed away with it. And I mean,
Yeah.
the guy clearly had enough money to go anywhere on the
Anywhere.
planet and try anything.
Wasn't he doing a more holistic approach?
Yeah,
though?
yeah,
Like,
he did. He kind of dumped the pad and pen medicine and
Yeah.
went more like just to the holistic treatments and stuff.
Totally, yeah.
But he still ended up losing his fight, and we lost a genius guy.
Yeah.
But I just...
Well, and because you hear people say, "Oh, change your diet, eat totally natural, eat this and that." It's like
Yeah.
you
I
are
already did
doing that.
That was
right?
already, that was already my
And
life.
You are already. You're still doing that.
Yeah,
So
and
then
I'm
it's
still in it.
So then, what option? Now give me another option because I'm already
Yeah.
doing so many of them.
Yeah.
It's
So I
like,
had one of the friends at the gym. I have all these combat vets at the gym that have all these wild and crazy stories, and they fought for our freedom. They've seen horrific things, and they even ask me, and they say, well, what if you just don't accept treatment? Does that mean, it might be the thing that eventually kills you? I said, well, yeah, it might. I said, but it might not. I might get, smacked on I-25, or
Yeah.
I might have a heart attack first. So, there's no
listen,
guarantees.
You could have a bad deadlifting thing go bad.
Yeah, I could drop the barber on my skull and kill myself at the gym.
Yeah,
I totally could.
It's like
for sure.
Yeah, anyway.
So my point to them was, you still got to be you, and you still got to have some part of you that you can hold on to and feel like your life is worth living.
Yeah.
And when I imagine myself dragging a chemo pole around and looking at myself in a mirror at 100 pounds,
Right, because you'll just.
I'm dead already. I don't want that. That would be harder for me to ever swallow than just living out my life
Yeah.
and calling my shots.
Yeah.
So I think now, kind of I already got my ass kicked once, physically and financially. Still
Right.
recovering from both.
Both.
So I'm in no hurry to do
Yeah.
this again.
Do it again.
And it kind of maybe gives a sense of empowerment. You take back the control
It does.
Right.
There's
from
a
the
little bit of
cancer.
freedom in it.
Even
There really
Right.
is.
You know
It's
what I
like,
mean?
I'm not going to bow to this. I'm going
It
to live
doesn't
and
own
do
me.
my thing
Right.
my
Yep.
way. And if I go out with this, well, okay then.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, that's a little morbid for some, but for me, that's stared that thing in the face. I can tell you I'm not in a hurry to do it again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I would rather be me and be me all in.
Yep.
And so I've even had this talk with my son. And her and I have had this talk, and I was like, dude, I might just call my own shots here and just run as
see.
is.
Yep.
And he's like, I get it, Dad. And then she gets it. So if the people
Well,
that
they
are most
lived
important,
it with you.
Yeah,
they walked
Yeah.
it with
They
you.
had the
I mean,
shock.
she
Yeah.
held you up the whole
Yeah.
time, and so then it's
and
like,
had to
gosh.
shoulder me being broke
Yep.
and all the other jazz. So yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yep. Well, and that's it too. It's like I always tell people too, in the situations like this, people don't think of the caregiver.
No.
People don't think
They almost need their own support structure. They do, because it's so hard on the family members and the wives, the children, the cousins, the whatever. I mean, it's just super hard, especially the one who's right there, be it a spouse, a significant other, what have you. It is just
so hard
devastating
to not
on them.
Show your emotion and how you're feeling, because then it makes the person that you're taking care of feel even worse.
Yeah,
you know?
they feel like they've hurt you.
Yeah, and it's like, gosh,
more a burden.
Which there are times I felt like I hurt her. You know, and I felt like my life was too different for her. You know, and I felt really, really crappy.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and then why? You know, you're having your own insecurities. You know. So I feel half the person. So why would she even want me around? Because I'm half the person. Yeah. And you know,
and broke.
Yeah.
And,
and
like,
she's just
nobody wants a broke partner. You know, and it's like, oh, well, honey, I'm broke.
Well. And have
that's how
this
you feel.
thing.
That's how you feel. It's not the reality of it, but it is how you feel.
Yep.
Exactly.
And we always have those secret voices in our head that kind of dictate how we feel sometimes, and those secret voices can be very loud for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And mine was loud.
Yeah.
Deafening.
Well, and it's shocking, right? Because you've never had to deal with that negative voice in your head before.
Right.
And then when it's screaming at you, you're like, oh my God, am I going crazy as well? Like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, the monster's out of the box at that point. It's like the old Tasmanian devil cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
He's in a box just kind of like racketing around, and all of a sudden he busts out and he's like a little tornado.
Yeah.
He eats through the trees. He eats through everything.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
You're
happens in your brain.
trying to catch it.
Yeah. You're just trying to wrestle it to the ground and stop it. But it's beating you up, you know? It's like,
That's amazing. I don't know. We know, like, we have a couple other people, Disney Jason, he's a listener. He just came through pancreatic cancer.
Oh, man.
He just did his last treatment in April, I want to say, and he saved his own life because he had noticed something was wrong, and he went to the doctor. Well, he's in his 30s, so they're like, oh no, you're fine, and he's like, no, I'm not fine. And so I think it took him like 5 different doctors, and then finally the last doctor was like, fine, I'll humor you. I'll fucking humor you. You're gonna pay for this test out of your pocket. And he's like, okay, fine. And then the doctor was like, hey buddy,
guess what?
So,
you're not paying for that test.
Because you're dying, and we just wanted to let you know.
And
he
they
beat
told
that
him,
shit.
well, they told
awesome,
him
dude.
he saved his own life because when they got it, it was small. In his pancreas, you know, and so he's like, they didn't have to, he was going to do the full Whipple. I don't know if you know what that is, but they take like 5 of your organs out, and they didn't have to do that. They left his intestines and they left his stomach intact because he had been paying attention. You know, and that's what they said. This is the best thing you could have done. Had you waited even a year, your survival rate wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah, even mine they caught by accident because when I moved to Colorado, I didn't have a family doctor.
Yeah.
And I started a new job, so I didn't have insurance for like 3 months. And finally my crappy insurance kicked in, which barely covers you for an office visit. So I went to a female doctor, oddly enough. I just went through a phone book and thought, where's the general practitioners near my house?
Right.
And I found one right down the street. It had 3 guys and a woman in it. And I thought, well, the only one that had an appointment available was the woman doctor. So I went in and you know, she took a look at me, look at my vitals, my stats, and she goes, well, let's do your normal blood work. And she goes, and how old are you? And I was like, I'm 46. She goes, well, have you ever had your PSA checked? And I'm like, yeah, once, you know, a year or 2 ago, which normally don't even check a man until he's 50, which is also a kiss of death. I mean, by the time you're 50, that's way too late, man.
Way too late.
Yeah.
They should be doing that in their 30s.
Oh, yeah, by 30,
just
32.
to get a baseline.
Yep, exactly. And it's a simple, like, $99 blood test, too. So even if you had to pay for this out of your pocket, this is not a $12,000 test.
It's worth it.
Get it
This
done.
is a $99 checkbox on a list of blood work.
Yep.
So she goes, well, I could examine you, but that's really not going to tell us anything. She goes, how about we just do a PSA on you, just for the hell of it? I'm like, yeah,
sure.
PSA, sure, let's do it. Throw in the kitchen sink. Yeah, let's roll.
The more you know.
Yeah. Well, you're healthy.
Yeah. You know, and that's what she said. So then I went back, and then she goes, well, you know, remember that PSA we talked about? She goes, yeah, yours is a 9. And I thought, like, 10 is perfect. So I'm like,
yeah, great.
9 out of 10, I'm badass. Yeah, 9 out of 10. She goes, no, that's terrible. It ought to be 0.
Oh,
she goes, and 9 is huge.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how huge? She goes, you're going to need to go to a specialist like this week.
Like now.
And I'm like, what? So I go home and tell her this story.
That's the worst, too.
You're
just going along, just normal everyday life.
It was like a joke at first. Like, sure, check it. Yeah. All right. And then it's like, I got a 9 out of 10. I'm badass. I'm amazing. That's almost perfect. No, that's almost worst.
You're almost dead.
Yeah. You're almost dead. So then I went and I had to have a biopsy done, which is really horrible to go through. For those who have done this, you understand what I'm saying without me getting graphic. Yeah, it's the worst. So after that, we go back for those results.
Yeah.
And the doc says, well,
you're gonna have surgery.
Your Gleason score is really high. And I'm like, what's a Gleason score? Like, I'm thinking of like Jackie Gleason on the Honeymooners. Yeah, like,
exactly.
Norton, get down here. Yeah, bang, zoom. Yeah, why I oughta. And instead it was like, no, it ranks the aggressiveness. And yours was also like a 9 on a 10 scale.
Yeah.
So like, not only are you, diagnosed with cancer, you have an aggressive strain.
It's moving quick.
So he goes, so we got to move quick. But this guy was like, he wanted me to go to like right into like chemo and radiation and the surgery, like all three, the full run. And I said, okay, wait, stop.
Yep.
I just got hit with a truck. Let me go home and think.
Yep.
So we go home, we cry, we think, we yell, you know, and then it was like, let's find another doctor.
Yeah.
So I called 4 or 5 other guys.
Yeah.
And finally I found the one guy at the University of, Colorado here with the Anschutz Cancer Pavilion. Yeah. Paul Maroney, I think that guy saved my life, actually, because he allowed me to come in and discuss just non-catastrophic procedures and treatments.
Well, you want to go in and have a doctor and be like, look at me.
Yeah.
Like, look at me.
Yeah.
This is going to ruin my life. Right.
Yeah.
Like, for real, don't treat me like I'm just this cancer.
Yeah.
Because I'm so much more than just this fucking cancer.
Yeah. Which he did. He understood, like, I'm an athlete and I'm a musician and I'm like, I'm still kind of young, you know? And like, I still want to live. I still want to have some bang for my buck left, you know? I don't want to be sick the rest of whatever I have left.
And a competitive bodybuilder, not just some guy who sits around and plays his guitar all day eating Cheetos.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You live in a healthy
life.
Rigid
and it's part of my identity. It's part of me. It's part of what makes me me. And you take that away, you take me away. You know? So I mean, like, I wasn't ready to give that up.
Yeah.
And you had just moved here, right? This has all happened within the first
6 months. Yeah,
90
6
days
months after
almost.
moving out here, I was in this journey.
Oh, shit.
So
talk about God moving.
Because he moved out here to be
huh?
with you? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. You moved out to be with
like,
her, and so then it's like,
honey, I'm home.
Yeah,
and it's like,
we finally
honey,
get together to start your life
honey,
together.
I'm dying.
Which is lame for you because that's only a few months that you got him
of normalcy.
Yeah.
Then everything else was not normal.
Yeah.
You know, for like the next 2 years, there was nothing normal.
No.
At all.
And your emotions are on this crazy roller coaster train because you've lost all of your chemical balance.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then you're still trying to hold down a job. Like, people forget that too. Like, you're still trying to go to work.
Yeah,
trying
to go to work.
Like, you're still trying to function as a normal tax-paying individual.
Yeah.
And try to cater to people's needs at work when you're a disaster in your mind.
Yeah.
Well,
a cancer cloud.
And dealing with shitty people at that point, you're just like,
you're like, listen.
oh, you know what?
Yeah,
I don't even have.
Yeah, I'll get to that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll go smash your window in your car real quick. I'll be right
turn
back.
your car over in the parking lot.
Just turn it upside down.
Because that will make me feel better.
Turn it upside down, put it in the tree, and be like, there you go. Did you get that password remembered now?
That's right.
How's your email?
Your password is upside down car, bitch.
And so many people.
Exclamation point.
So many people in your life, and they don't even ask how you're doing.
No.
Here's the thing too is that a lot of people, I think, expected him to like wither away and poor Tom.
Absolutely.
And, but when they would see him,
all the doomsayers,
and they would be like so. For example, a couple of friends at the gym, or quote unquote friends at the gym, they befriended him and felt sorry for him and anything we can do for you and blah blah blah. But then as soon as they saw that how strong he was and that he wasn't going to wither away and let this beat him, you know what happened? They turned their backs on him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they disappeared.
Because you're not weak.
Disappeared.
They were crisis friends.
Yep.
They were like, as long as the bullets are flying, I'm in the foxhole with you.
Yep.
But as soon as you start shooting back, I'm done.
Which is even more messed up.
Yeah, which is so weird.
Which is even more messed up because if they were your friends and they did know, you did lose weight. You did get smaller.
I sure did.
You did
I
have
lost 30 pounds in like a minute.
But to them, they were. He was still big and
you
strong,
didn't
and
look
he was
sick.
bigger than them.
Right.
You didn't look gray.
Exactly.
Yes.
You didn't look dead.
Right away, everybody's first question was, well, how's your chemo going?
Right.
Stop. I didn't say I was on chemo.
Yep.
In
But
fact, I'm refusing it. I'm not going to do it.
But everyone does what that doctor did. We're doing all 3 right now. This is the only way to save you. This is the only way we can do it.
Yep.
So let's do it all. And people don't ask questions.
Because
people
think you don't have a
get a
choice.
second opinion.
Yeah, they paint it like this is what you have to do.
Yes.
There's no discussion.
There's no discussion about. And then when you're like, no, I want to think about this. I want to talk to some people. Well, you know what? Your time is short, and this is this, and it's like, wow, all you're doing is
you're gonna die.
You're motivated from fear, and I rebuke that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So back up.
So now,
and the first doctor we saw, though, he was, when we were like, we think we should get a second opinion. He was like, no, please, I encourage you to.
Yeah.
Get as many opinions as you need.
That's how they should be.
right? Yeah. So I will give him credit for that because he was real hip on me getting another opinion and stuff, but he was also super hip. On diving in both feet, getting the full gamut of treatment, and having my life just
Don't
upside
you think
down.
too? You have to have that good energy with that doctor.
Absolutely.
And so I mean, like one doctor can find it right,
Yeah.
and then you're like, okay, but this is not who I'm supposed to walk my healing out with. And then you meet the other doctor, and you're like, okay, this guy. He's hearing me.
Yeah, and as she would recall, we were sitting there, I asked him, I read about this procedure where they go in like with a robot so that they can trim out the prostate gland but save your nerves so that you can then still function sexually.
Right.
Even though you're sterile, you can still function.
Right.
And I was super high on that because I'm too young to like close the door on everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like life's still got to be worth living here, fellas. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So then I asked him about that procedure and he goes, well, I've assisted in 70 of those.
Oh, wow.
You've assisted. Okay, so then the next guy I found, who I was telling you about, Paul Maroney, I said, what do you know about this procedure? He goes, I do this every week.
Yeah.
I said, how many have you done? He said, 700 or 800.
100.
You've done 700 or 800? I'm in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm in.
Is that the
guy,
procedure you had done?
Yeah, it's they use a Da Vinci robot, and they go in and they trim out your entire prostate gland. They pull it out through your belly button.
Oh, my God.
And they salvage, though, the 2 nerves that conduct all the blood flow to your lower extremities.
So you can still
get
an erection.
Absolutely, yes. Because if those nerves get cut, you're over.
You're done, yeah.
It doesn't matter what you try,
no,
what your partner is able to do to you, and nothing happens because the nerve from the brain to that organ
it's been
severed.
Yeah.
So
that's when you need the implant or the permanent pump thing or whatever.
And I took one look at that and was like, hell no. Hell no.
And it's like,
it's like that is the most diabolical thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I'm still young.
Yes.
Look at me.
Yes.
I love my body.
Yeah.
I'm taking care of my body.
I wasn't ready to write off everything I love and do, So thankfully, though, his skill level was, right where he said it was. Yeah. And I recovered afterwards. Yeah. But then it's just then you start that 5-year rat race.
Now, can't they do because my sister Angie also had pancreatic cancer, and she is now, I want to say, 5 years surviving.
Wow.
I want to say 5 or 6 years.
That's awesome.
And she's had a couple other flare-ups. Like she had some cancer cells show up on her face, and so she had to go and have those. But like they said, because pancreatic is such a huge cancer.
Yeah, it's connected to your entire endocrine system and all that.
I always think it's like a basket of strawberries, right? And so that one strawberry starts getting moldy.
Yeah.
And then it just spreads. And then if you don't catch it and remove that strawberry and the ones it was touching, it's gonna get more and more.
Right.
And
good analogy. Yeah, real good analogy.
So that she had to have so much taken out. She's diabetic now, everything else. But she does this thing where they do a body scan, and they can see if she has hot spots.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if you can do that to see if it's in the prostate area, or if it's somewhere else.
Yeah, my doc seems to think so, because he said most of the studies they've done, which are in the thousands by now, if you have yours removed and you still start your numbers coming back, they always find it still back in what they call the prostate bed. So it's somewhere deep in the gut. In there. Down along, the back
some little
wall
chunk that they just didn't go deep enough.
Yeah, because you'll just need one cell to survive. One cell. So it's just like your strawberry analogy. You just need one seed off of a strawberry to make another whole strawberry.
Yep, absolutely.
So one little cell of cancer is a seed that then can make another whole tumor or another whole organ sick or whatever. And so that's why they bake you in the radiation I would be going through if I would decide to do this. They take about a pie plate sized beam and hit you like right in the gut.
Yeah.
And to give you some context, you know when you go to the dentist and they throw that lead shield over you?
Yeah.
And the lady even leaves the office and she goes, okay, beep.
Yep.
And that's it. And then they come back and take the shield off. You're like, wow, that was fast. That radiation hits your body for about a third of a second.
Yeah.
But when you go to cancer radiation, that beam drills your body for like 20 minutes straight. And it's 400 times the strength of what you got at the dentist.
Yeah.
So that's why even radiation makes you sick.
Yeah.
Because it's baking the gut.
Yeah.
And it's shooting through all your good tissue to hopefully get to the bad tissue.
All your intestines, your big
your
and small.
Stomach, your liver,
everything that helps.
your kidneys, your urethra, the whole jazz.
Well, what if you just went and took a little vacation at Chernobyl?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're offering those tours now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't
just
need
go
a chemical
walk around
suit.
there.
Yeah, just let me
Just
roll around
let me
a
walk
bit.
through.
Chernobyl.
Yeah,
I just
dive in the lake.
Yeah, maybe
swim with the three-headed fish.
Make some mud balls.
You come out with another Tom head.
Yeah, exactly. You might come out bigger. You could get a
You could get a superhero power.
Oh, wouldn't that be badass?
Oh, Super Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Hulk version of me.
The hulkier version.
Wow.
The hulkier version.
That would be amazing.
Right.
Except for the green part.
Nah,
We can
let's
keep
make
you
it
from
tan.
getting green.
Yeah. Maybe a different color. Fuchsia. Or
Yeah,
something like that. Some
right.
magenta.
Something good. Something more attractive.
Yeah, the fuchsia Tom.
Yeah.
That's
Fuchsia.
amazing. So what do you do from here?
I wait till August, and I go have my
Another
next
test.
round, see if it continued to rise, because at this point, everything that rises is a bad sign, and they want you to do something about it. So this last time, I was supposed to do something about it, but I begged with my doc. I said, listen, let's just do another one anyway. Let's just see if it continues.
Yeah.
And he said, okay. He goes, but he's humoring me. And he's even telling me he's humoring me by saying,
okay,
look, I get it. Sorry.
No worries.
I get it. You know, you want to keep lifting your weights. You want to keep doing your thing and living your life. And he said, but if those numbers come back, that's going to have to be a different level of discussion about moving forward.
Yeah.
And so that's when her and I have to have the discussions to say, you know, I'm allowed to say no.
Right.
Like, I'm not a prisoner to this. I don't have to bow and say, okay.
Right. You own the cancer. It doesn't own you.
Yeah. And I've always been careful. I never, ever really called myself a cancer patient because I don't want to internalize that. And I don't want to, so I kind of want to like stiff arm it and keep it outside my soul as far as I can. Because I think once you start to kind of internalize that or start to say, yeah, I'm sick, I'm a cancer patient,
some of your identity.
I think it does hurt you. I really do. Some weird esoteric way, I think it hurts you.
Yep.
So I try never to admit, and I almost never have discussions when I hear people talking about breast cancer and stuff. I never want to just jump in and be like, oh, yeah, well, I had cancer too. And,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm in the club.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the club.
Right.
Yeah, I want to live, and I want to do my thing on my terms. So I'm not looking to be, you know, just a me too with I've had cancer too, you know.
Yeah, we know several people like that, you know, of our friends that have beat cancer, and they're not that way either. They're not out like, hey, look
that's
at
not
me.
part of their identity.
I'm so-and-so, and I have
I've seen two people in my life,
you know
by the way, personally, two people in my life that were hopping up and down. They got their 5-year clear. One guy was 10 years clear. Yeah, I kicked his ass. Yeah, look at me. Then he was dead in 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I thought to myself, wow.
Yeah.
Like, if that can happen, I don't want to invoke any of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm never going to jump up and down and be like, yeah, I kicked its ass. It did nothing for me. I'm big and strong. And then I'm dead in a month.
Yeah. Doesn't that just even go to prove, too, it's like you have absolutely no control over it.
None. And it doesn't respect persons. It doesn't respect
age, gender, nothing.
Age,
nationality.
gender, nationality, religion.
Race.
It doesn't care. It is, and I really think it was here killing dinosaurs before it was killing humans.
Yeah.
So I think this thing has just been this god-awful...
It started in the garden.
Entity. It probably did.
It started in the garden.
It probably did.
With the curse.
It probably did.
The curse that God gave on us from eating the apple.
Well,
we don't blame you, ladies.
You're no longer safe.
Listen,
it wasn't our fault. If you guys would have been giving us what we needed, we would have never gone looking.
You're saying Adam was such a bad husband, you were talked into fun play by a snake.
Yeah.
That's how bad of a husband.
You know who was listening to her?
Yeah.
That snake.
Oh
That's
yeah.
usually how it happens. It's
so
the
it
one
took
guy
weeks.
that's listening. He's the one that actually gets in
That's
there.
right. He's the one who gets the
They
ladies.
sat over there for weeks, and he was like, "I get it. He is such a jerk."
Yep.
And you're like, "I know, right? I saw him yesterday.
Yeah.
He didn't seem to care.
That's right.
that guy." And you're
Yep.
like, "I am hungry."
I know.
He doesn't care that I'm hungry.
Yeah.
He hasn't brought me an apple.
Yes.
This guy brought me an
Surprise.
apple.
Anything.
It's the shiniest apple I've ever seen.
It's not really my type, but fuck, he brought me an apple.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of now I buy it. I kind of see it now
I
that
see
we've
it.
worked it out.
Yeah.
But it's something that just was given, just dropped in our DNA that just goes. Is there any history of cancer in your family?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Yeah.
I had everything else, heart disease and diabetes and all
Right.
that other jazz.
All the
in my
normal
family.
stuff.
Nobody had cancer.
Yeah.
You know, so like, not that I want to be the groundbreaker of the bunch.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
but
Rather
yeah.
than the first one to graduate college
Right.
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
Wow.
Set something good.
It just shows you the randomness.
Well, yeah, and you
life.
don't know.
Well, now you
Yeah.
need to go. I had a thought. You should probably go down to Spirit Wise and see Alicia.
Alicia. Oh yeah, you should.
You should probably have a session with Laisha.
You should go
She could
see
tap
Alicia.
into maybe your spirit guides and maybe some things around you and
I don't know
maybe of
if
what
you
you're
believe in
into.
that
I
at
know
all.
that you're a spiritual guy.
I am.
You're a Christian just like myself. We've
I
talked.
am.
We have a lot
I
of
do
the
believe.
same.
Yeah, I do believe.
The same spiritual beliefs when it comes to
Yeah,
stuff
I'm
like
definitely
that.
a believer for sure.
And you know,
would be
there's a lot
interesting.
going around us spiritually right now, especially.
yeah, for sure.
You know,
that's a total fact.
and,
yeah.
and you've got nothing else to lose till August to try every freaking thing from sleeping with rocks to rubbing oils on you to trying to talk to
Ooh, some
spirits.
rose quartz
You know what I
probably
mean?
would be
Some
good
rose
for
quartz
you.
wouldn't probably be a bad idea to
Yep.
throw under the bed.
Yeah.
Just little things. You know, God brought us all these elements, right? He says in the Bible that if humans don't say praise to him, even the rocks will stand up and cry out to
sing
God.
praise.
So the rocks have got some power to even get a mention with the fact they can get up and talk in
Right.
the Bible, right?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
got to give the rocks some credit for something.
Sure.
And then they're just so damn pretty.
They are.
You know?
We were just up at
I mean?
Estes yesterday,
Yeah.
just marveling at just the landscape
Yeah,
up there, man. Just
so
the drive into
beautiful.
Estes and the drive out of Estes is just mind-blowingly beautiful,
Yeah.
you know. And it was nice to just kind of elevate your consciousness and get
Yeah.
away from like the
Right.
city and the walls of your house. You know, it
Yeah.
just seems to do something for your intervision.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, when you get out into nature and look around and go, wow, the world's much bigger than me.
Yeah.
Totally.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's way bigger than me.
Way
so
bigger.
you have an opportunity to kind of check out and ingest some alternative ways of thinking and
Well,
spirituality
yeah, it's
and
a little bit
thoughts.
of alternative medicine as
Yeah,
well.
and medicine.
You know, like we have a really good friend of ours, Everett. He's a healer, and he works with another healer, and they work on.
They say they can
Yeah.
reduce cancer.
Yeah.
He believes he was able to help his dad become cancer free through his touch healing.
Yeah.
And maybe this is a guy you could talk to.
Yeah.
You know what I
Even
mean?
like some Reiki healing,
Yeah.
you know, which is just spiritual and
Right.
and in your body, you know, your chakra, all of that stuff too. Because sometimes, like a girlfriend of mine, she had thyroid cancer. But then later, recently, has come to find out that her throat chakra has just been blocked her entire life because of something that happened to her when she was younger. So it happened then. She wasn't heard, so she just stopped talking. She just stopped fighting for herself. She stopped speaking out for herself. And I told her, I said, isn't that crazy to think that you could have gotten the thyroid cancer because that surrounds your throat?
True, yeah.
Because of it being blocked, you know? Because we are supposed to flow as spiritual beings, balanced all the way through, you know? And like that, there's a chakra down there that it could be blocked, you know what I mean? And so it would just be interesting to see, to have you go and have a meeting with these other people and see what the energy they feel off of you, because they feel things off of you and will tell you things before you even mention them. because they can see it. They can see your colors. They can see your chakra. They can tell you, some Reiki would benefit you. Like Jason, when he went through his chemo, he got Reiki treatments all the time at the hospital. It was something that they offered to help him relax during the treatment.
And what is a Reiki treatment for the layman?
Reiki it's an energy treatment. Right? And so, like, they'll touch you at certain points that have to do with your chakra as well. And all they're really doing is trying to transfer good, positive, healing energy to your body. Because
So like acupuncture without the puncture?
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I would still get acupuncture if you like that. I would still do that too, because that has huge benefits of healing your body.
Well, I've always found it fascinating because it's like 3,000 years old, and they mapped parts of the human nervous system that at that time they shouldn't have even known about.
Right.
So there is some old wisdom somewhere in the acupunctural, charts and stuff.
But that is also that Asian, Eastern medicine.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll just read this for you really quick, just so everybody can get it. Reiki is a Japanese technique of stress reduction and relaxation that it also promotes healing. It is administered by laying on of hands and is based on the idea that an unseen life force energy flows through, or God, call it whatever you like, flows through us and is what causes us to be alive. Yeah. It's one's life force energy. If it's low, then it is a way to bring up your if your energy is low, you are more likely to be sick or feel stress. If it is high, you're more capable of being happy and healthy.
Right.
The word Reiki is made up of two Japanese words, rei, which means God's wisdom or the higher power, and ki, which is life force energy, or Reiki is actually spiritually guided life force energy.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So it's just tapping into what we already know is there intentionally.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like Everett always taught me, he's like, everything is vibrating, right? Everything has a vibration level. So some things will vibrate higher than others, right? Like a rose quartz is going to vibrate at a much higher positive frequency than this phone, because this phone is nothing good, right? It's all electronic. It can give you poison. I mean, it's just leaking poison all over us. So this vibrates very, very low, right? And so then you change things. And like Everett, he has even some tools that he uses. Like people that when they get cancer and stuff, he'll tell them to buy these certain plates. And so then they will put their medicine on these plates, right? And it helps change the vibration of the medicine. Like chemo, very, very low vibration because it's death. No way around it, right? So like they give you these medications so you can put it on these energy fields, which will help change the radiation, help pull out some of the negative vibration of it and replace it with a positive vibration, so you get a little bit different response out of the medication.
Gotcha.
And it's like totally sounds hippy dippy, and hokey and whatever.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it sounds a bit new agey at times, you know, and I understand that. But I also understand that there's, like I said, I don't know how these ancient Asians, thousands of years ago, before there was ever a single autopsy, knew where, the central nervous system and all its branches were, that you could stick a pin in it. I mean, that's pretty accurate. You know what I mean?
Classy Little Cupcake, she works in the medical field, and she's like, acupuncture is used in her office all the time to help with cancer.
Yeah.
And so it's like, because it brings you other things too. It brings you relief. It brings you other things. But it would be interesting now that you're at this point to see what kind of readings you do get from other people.
Yeah, why not?
It would, yeah, because I'm kind of, I don't want to say fully against conventional medicine at this point, but I'm kind of against, I am totally against the chemo thing. I'm totally against it.
Yeah.
And I'm even questioning the radiation thing, and I would much rather choose nothing, I think, than choose one of those two, horrible things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would be open to investigate some other things and then would report back to you on
that would be amazing.
On what I found. Yeah, sure. Yeah, because, that's the only way you gain knowledge is through actual humans that go through something and can pass on their their story or their findings or
Yeah.
their healings or their sufferings.
There's so much more
Right.
weird things I could tell you that Everett does, and Sean thinks they're weird.
They're kooky.
But-
they are kooky, some of the things that Everett does, and he knows it, and he's not ashamed of it. But you know what? He believes what he does,
Yeah.
and he sees results with
I've
people that
seen
also
results
believe
from
in what
it
he does.
too.
And she has seen
And that's
results.
what's crazy is if you got results,
And-
it's hard to argue with results.
It is.
I can't,
It
you
is.
know. I'm
like-
just, you know what I mean? I just choose to believe. And I'm becoming a little bit more, because I'm hardcore, rigid, Pentecostal.
Sure, yeah,
Christian
yeah,
based.
yeah. I'm
I
a little
come-
more. Yeah, my feet are firmly planted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's
Yeah.
not written, I don't want to hear it. You know, I
Exactly.
mean, I get it.
Totally.
I get
And
it.
that's the way I've lived my life, you know. And
Yeah.
now I'm approaching 50 years old, and it's like I am seeing that, you know, God can be bigger than just this small little box that I've been put in this Pentecostal
Christian
world.
box. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We've got so
And-
many of his
and,
blessings and gifts in that.
what we might call a prophetic word, some other person might call a spiritual guided word for you.
Yeah.
Because they're
same
able
thing.
to tap into something. But we're all tapping into something, you know what I mean? We're all just calling it different things.
Yep.
you know
Sure,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
What someone might call a ritual, we call,
Someone might call a spell.
Frickin'
A service.
a service
Yeah.
or a tent. What was I calling it?
A revival.
A revival.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen some serious kooky stuff in my church, and I
You had no problem believing
had
that.
no problem digesting it
Right,
under
yeah,
the
yeah.
umbrella
Of the thought
God,
process of what you were in.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
I do, yeah.
And then we, you know, there's candles, incense, praying in tongues, speaking in chants.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so there's just a lot more available to us powerfully in us than the spirits that's in us.
Right.
That God wants us to use.
Yeah.
That we're not using because we're afraid that it's going to be called
Something.
New Age,
Yep.
worldly,
Yeah, yeah.
But all we
satanic.
Yeah, right.
I mean, my mom walked in this house. You guys walked into this house. This house is full of bones and skulls. It's
It's a lot different than it used to be.
This house is full of death if you look at it on the surface. But to us, bones to me, you know, they represent life.
Yeah.
They represent the foundation of everything that we have. Because
Right.
if we didn't have bones, we'd have nothing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So for me, I look at bones in a reverent state. My mom walked in this house and said, "This is like Satan's house." Literally, she said that to me. This is like the devil's house now.
Wow.
And it really offended me because it's
Yeah.
like, wow, you just diminished all my Christianity or all my belief systems and all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, see,
there's-
that's right. You took
that's
it. I took
closed-minded.
it as, wow, you're so close-minded. You're so
Yeah.
small-minded. That
Yeah,
this is,
yeah.
That's all you can see.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't even see us.
Right.
You know what I mean? And half this shit's for sale. You want to buy it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, give me a
Exactly.
break.
Make money
if
on
I
them
had
bones.
if I had a storefront, my house wouldn't look like this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, give me a break, people. I think it's amazing, but I don't know.
So why
Like,
not open your mind and open your body up to some new experiences and new energies? That's all I'm saying.
And
Yeah.
I'll message Everett and ask him the book. There's a really good book that he always suggests, and it speaks to vibration. Right? It speaks to levels of vibration. And right now you need to raise your vibration. Right? In order to fight this cancer, which is a very low vibration in your body, you need to raise your vibration. And it's simple things. It's simple things as in the music you listen to, where you store your food, right? What you put on the top of your fridge, what you don't. I mean, it's really simple things. But because we have this low-lying level of radiation coming from the earth, right? I mean, concrete has a radiation
It's
level.
full of radiation. Did you know that? There's
I think I did hear
small
something about
amounts of
that
uranium.
because of the way it's made and the way it, sets up, and it has a property that is,
Yeah.
suspect in a lot of
Yeah,
readings.
yeah.
It's in the rocks.
It's in the
It's
rock.
a natural,
It's a natural
thing
occurring
that is in the
uranium.
rocks. It is in the earth because the earth, it has so many rocks. It is just in there. So it has this low-lying bit of that anyways, right? Well, we don't think about that, right? You don't think about
True,
that.
yeah.
When you're getting your supplement shake mix, you don't know what that process plant is like.
That is true.
You don't know what it's actually going through before it gets to you, right? So it's coming to you already, we'll say contaminated with lower vibration stuff. So you would take that and you would take it and you'd set it on this positive plate that you get from Everett and you let it sit there for so long. And now when you use that whole thing, a lot of that negative energy has been removed from it. So you're going to get more positive quality, return out of it. I know it sounds crazy, but this guy,
this thing I'm playing, this is what I'm hearing right now.
he has proof. I mean,
This is our sun. This is the vibration that they have measured coming off of the sun. Now, every planet has its own
everything has
vibrational
that.
tone.
Every rock, your car has that. Everything has that.
So that tone is just inundating our lives. We're vibrating.
Well, the Earth has its own vibration, and then that's coming from the sun, and then the moon has its own, right? And then as all these other planets
That's
come
annoying
into
as
orbit
hell.
too.
That's really unpleasant.
And
if you just let that drone on, that is
and
unpleasant.
Then you're standing out there and getting burned by it at the same freaking time.
It's just interesting. I just would encourage you now that you're at this place, because you are looking at other things, that does open you up to some other things, that Everett swears by this healer. You can send him your picture and he will pray healing for your life. And they have seen like a 90% success rate from this man. I mean, it is incredible. But they have also studied some of the biggest, Asian, Eastern healers and their practices and what they've done. But again, that's all Eastern medicine.
Yeah.
That's not that you don't practice that here. They don't want you to go to a holistic doctor. They want you to go to big pharma. They want you to go to all those other places.
That's why I've always said they don't want to cure cancer. It makes them too much money.
Right. I mean, going there is almost certain death. Right? It's like, it's like, okay, how...
Yeah, I truly believe the ones that come out of it are just literally lucky.
Lucky.
Just like you're unlucky when you get cancer,
Yep.
the ones that come out of all the crazy chemo, the crazy radiation, and all that jazz, I really think a lot of them are just simply lucky.
Yep.
And I think a lot of them know that.
Yep.
And I mean, I felt lucky to come out of it for the time I have.
Yeah.
So now going in with my eyes wide open this time, I want to make sure my steps are a little more purposeful and thoughtful and direct.
Well, and
now,
you've
as opposed
even
to
taken the fear out of it, right? Because you've already been there, you've already done it, and so it's like, okay, this is old hat now. We know the routine, we know what's going to happen. So now they can't motivate you through fear.
Yeah,
Right.
Because it's like, all right, whatever, I already know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make my own choices.
I love that one doctor told me, he goes, none of us are getting out of here alive.
No.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, we all have an end of the line in sight,
Absolutely.
whether we know it or not, and it can come at different times for all of us.
Yep.
And we'd rather it be later than sooner.
Yep.
But at the same time, we're not immortal.
No.
Right,
So-
and who do we let be in charge of it?
Yeah, that's kind of my point.
Yeah.
I still got to be me now.
When
I
you
gotta
go
have
out,
a
do you
piece
want
of
to
me
go
still
out
here.
that way or on your own terms?
Yeah, man. And that's exactly the crux of my message of, with my discussions with my son and talks her and I have had is this time, man, I got to be me. So, kind of come what may in a way, but I mean, you still have to have that piece of yourself and your own identity that you feel like you get to direct because it means something to you.
Right.
It's
Right.
you.
You get to direct.
know?
You get to direct your path.
Yeah.
You get to decide. Okay, this is it.
I don't want
They
led by
say
the
I have
nose.
this much time, so let's go do this and this and this and this and this
Yeah.
while
Yeah.
we can. And people who do that, they tend to have more time.
Right,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Like
Yeah,
the country
well-
song, I went skydiving and bull riding and whatever that
Yeah.
song is
Yeah,
by the country guy. It's it
Yeah.
makes a whole lot of sense, man.
Well,
Yep.
and you didn't come out of the womb with your giant biceps and your big muscles. You decided to be that person.
Right.
You worked hard to
That's
become
true.
Right.
That's
the
true.
person
Yeah,
that
it's a
you
lot
are.
of work. Yeah.
And people told you were nuts, I'm sure.
True, yeah,
And people
they still
told
do
you you're
sometimes.
crazy. And
You're
people
old. What
told
are you doing this
should
for?
stop.
How old are
Yeah.
you? 50? Oh, that's dumb.
And
Yeah.
along the way, because I've been to the gym and I've worked out with people, they told you how to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and you did it your own way. And now here you are faced with some other huge obstacle,
Yep.
and someone's trying to tell you how to do it. So it makes sense to me, just looking at you, why you would not listen, not listen, but you would want to take your own steps.
Yeah.
Because that's what you've done your entire life.
Yeah.
At some point in your life, you decide, I'm taking charge of this life, and you picked up a weight.
True,
Yeah.
yeah.
and you've
very,
become
very true.
this man.
Man. Yep.
And that's now you're picking up the cancer weight.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're
Yep.
taking charge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and that's it too. I'm a big believer in taking the fear out of it. You take back the control.
Right. Yeah.
And it is like,
It was
okay.
terrifying at first, but then now looking back, I'm just like, man, I'm mad. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just mad that I took some of those steps.
Yep.
I'm mad that I endured some of those
Yeah.
things and the
And
bankruptcy.
then it's here
and everything.
anyways.
I'm like, yeah, and it's still here anyways. And it's like, well, that sucks.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Well,
you
then
kind
this
of feel
time,
lied
damn
to
it.
too, because it's
Yeah,
like, oh
my God,
you
feel
totally
yeah,
fucking
totally.
screwed me, man.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
So now I'm like, I'm going to call the shots on this one.
Yep.
You know, like even if I call the wrong shots, I'm calling the shots.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
now if you accrue debt, it's because you want to do it differently, to have different tests done, meet different doctors, see different things, you know, try different. I'm going to try this natural thing. I'm going to try this natural thing. Things that fit your life better than what is so. Because when you had to stop everything, I mean, come on, that can't be good for you either.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It just can't be good for your body, can't be good for your mental state. And mental state is like 90% of it, right?
Yeah, that's a lot.
It has to be there to be able to fight it. And it's like, but I also encourage you this too. I mean, we're created in God's image, right? You call your shit in line. You start telling it to fall in line. You are created in God's image. Your words have power. You are the master of your, you know? And so it's like you start speaking from that authority position. I don't give a shit how it's going. Even with the doctors, you're already doing that there. You know what I mean? So now you do it with yourself too. And when you feel that in your head, it's like, you know what? No, I'm not doing that. In Jesus' name, I'm healed. And this is going to go away. And I'm going to be a miracle. Because look at me. Why wouldn't I be?
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Put
it
it out
is
in
a
front of you.
certain amount of like spiritual cockiness. Right?
Yeah, I get it.
That's my relationship with
Yeah.
God. I'm like, I see you. I challenge you. Let's go, buddy. Come on. You know, and we will just butt heads all day. And that's it. But he does the same to me, you know. It's like, oh, really? Oh, you think so? We'll do this then.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, I didn't really want to do that.
Right.
You know?
I'll pass.
Okay,
Why don't you
shit.
take care of everything?
You know?
Yeah.
But now you're trying to do something positive with this, right? Because it
Yep.
seems like that prostate cancer, men's cancer, does not get the attention
Oh.
the breast cancer and
yeah.
stuff. So now I want to talk about your foundation, so we can. Are you still doing that?
Well, I pushed the pause button on that because so many people, and this gets into what she was saying earlier, they jumped right on the foundation that I started.
Yep.
And I started it when I was broke. But then all of a sudden, like, I had all this support, but then no one wanted to, like, give me any money toward it. So we're doing events out of our own pocket, which isn't the idea of a nonprofit organization. Like, the people who started it aren't supposed to pay for everything they do with it.
Right.
Buy all their own T-shirts, buy all their own supplies, buy the booth time at the events.
Right.
You know, so then, and a lot of these guys that wanted to hurry up and jump on, you know, when they all thought I was dying, just suddenly disappeared, and their money went with them.
That's amazing.
And so then I pushed the pause button because then at that point now I'm going through bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I can't fund my own events anymore. This is dumb.
Yep.
So I just literally pushed the pause button and let it go. And then eventually over time your tax status and that kind of stuff
501c3s.
expires. Yes. And I let mine expire. They sent me letters, hey, you're about to expire. Do you want to re-up? And I was like, no, I don't want to re-up. So, you know, I may or may not pick that up again in the future, you know, but I found that just two of my closest friends that were also, you know, in the middle of their cancer journeys. We're all still in touch with each other. One in particular is still such a close, great friend of mine who's still also fighting. He's still going back for treatment. He's on gene therapy. He's on all these custom cocktail drugs and stuff. You know, but we all just looked at it and was like, maybe just, you know, other people don't want to necessarily roll their sleeves up and get dirty with you.
Right.
You know? And if I was a celebrity status or something like that, then they just want to be close to you because of your celebrity status.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's
But
association.
at least a lot of times, though, there's a lot of leverage in that.
And
There's
they'll
a lot
give
of
money.
money in that.
Good things can happen.
Yes.
They'll give money.
But when you're not a celebrity and you're just an everyday guy who's got some friends, you're just kind of like, well, you know, you have your friends that are also broke because they're going through the same cancer garbage you are.
Yep.
And then the guys with the money that are healthy, they're just, there's no more drama for them.
Right.
And they don't want to
No
dedicate.
motivation.
Well, and they don't
the
come out
hours.
looking, I did
Yeah.
this.
And they don't come to the events and you know, all healthy and well and want to sit there with a bunch of people talking about being sick people.
Right.
Well, yeah, they want to save a sick guy.
Yeah.
Not a big, strong guy who looks healthy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? No,
It would have fared better for you had you gone down to 150 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
that's the worst.
Near
though.
death
Yeah.
man.
Right.
Everyone would have stayed right with you the whole time
Right.
and carried you the whole way. Oh, poor him. Look at him. Oh, poor
Yep.
him.
And look at us martyring ourselves
Yep.
for this poor victim.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Without
but
us, he
instead-
would never have made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all of a sudden I didn't need those people, and I just think they all just like either turned and tucked tail and ran, or they were just like, I gotta go find somebody else I can be a victim.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
man.
exactly
So they
right.
jump on somebody else's cancer wagon or somebody else's
Yeah,
depression
right.
wagon
Yep.
or whatever
Yep.
to save these poor souls so they could feel
Yeah.
good.
Feel good about themselves. It's so great.
Yeah,
right?
so bizarre. Like they
amazing to
thrive
me.
on crisis. So
Yeah.
it's the soldier thing. Like as long as bullets are flying and we're both scared hiding in the foxhole,
Yeah.
they'll hide with you all day. But the minute you say charge,
Yeah, they're
load
like,
your weapon and run. They're like, I ain't going with you.
Yeah.
Hell with
Well,
that.
I'm
I heard
running.
my mom call me.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
go.
I'm running,
Yeah.
but it ain't that way.
Well, my kids got dance tonight, you know.
Yeah,
so I'm,
exactly. It's not
you
gonna
know,
work.
Yeah, we have equestrian training later on.
wait.
But the crazy
that,
thing
that
is-
equestrian shit's important.
Yeah.
Who's going
It
to ride
is.
them horses?
The crazy
Yeah, I
thing
know.
is when if they found themselves in that position, they would expect everyone to be.
Well, that's human nature,
man.
though. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't,
I don't
you
know
can't
if that
blame-
is or not. I wouldn't expect that.
Yeah.
I would expect the opposite.
No, I think that just in
You know?
human nature, we all expect those people that once called us our friends when we're sick to come out of the woodwork and take care of us, or at least acknowledge us. And then when they don't, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I've witnessed other things than that, you know?
Yeah.
And that's even worse because it's like, geez, people.
But when people come around you and say they want to support you, you expect them to stay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
support
totally do.
you.
Especially when they start, throwing resources your way and dropping names and getting your contacts
Yeah.
fulfilled and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, they're serious. Yay, we
Yeah.
can do this. And
And
all of a
then
sudden
not.
the momentum grinds to a halt. And then you're still like paying for things.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
This
your,
isn't functioning the
your typical
way.
cancer poster child, Tom, never appeared.
Yeah.
So then we can't keep going. We can't ask money for a guy who looks like this.
Can't put a healthy
But I
guy
thought
on
I'd
a
be the
poster.
perfect story because
You
of
would
that.
be.
That's why I'm so
I
odd.
agree.
You know what I mean? Like when you see
Yeah.
me, you're like,
Well,
what?
and-
You
and that-
got cancer? You know what I mean?
That's the perfect, hopeful story.
I would think,
But the
but
other
no one thought that
aspect
way.
is fear.
Yeah.
The other one, they're standing in fear with you because they can get behind the fear.
I think
they can keep the fear going.
Yep.
You know, but when you didn't get super sick and you didn't look like you were super sick, then the fear's like, there's no fear here. He's not really sick.
As a
Right.
man, I think I have more fear. I disagree because it's like you're a perfect, like a picture of health. You're working out 6 days a week, lifting weights.
Right.
You've got low body fat, giant muscles. You're eating a perfect balance of food for yourself, and then you come down with this cancer. Well, what about me, Mr. Taco Bell, 6 days a week, watching TV twice as much as you go to the gym? You know what I mean? Drinking twice as much as you do, and you're twice my size.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
I should go get my numbers checked. You know what I mean? For me, it gives me a little bit more sense of, holy shit, maybe I should be a little bit more vigilant about my health and to check myself, because if a guy like you
Can get it.
can get cancer
Anybody
out of
can
nowhere,
Anyone
then
can get it.
Mr. Big Gut, like I got a neighbor that we just saw him today come out of his garage with nothing but a small pair of shorts on. I thought, Jesus, dude, put a shirt on. And I never, because it was like,
looks
that
so
guy's so unhealthy and uncomfortable. And it's
Yeah.
He
like,
just looks
but
so hard.
no
you
one's,
know?
all people are talking about is heart disease, and they're talking
Diabetes.
about diabetes. No one's saying, and by the way, you could underlyingly have prostate cancer and be dead in 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And your heart may also be bad.
And you
Yeah.
want to know too? I think like with breast cancer for women,
It's kind of scary.
it's way more visible, right? Like
Oh, the
for
visibility of
prostate-
that is like, as soon as you think cancer, you think of the pink ribbons,
Yeah,
you think of the
yeah.
breast cancer
Yeah.
escapades
Well,
of
and
all
even
the
just on the
media.
physical form, you will notice a woman, you
Yeah.
know what I
Oh,
mean,
'cause of
with
like a
half a
mastectomy.
mastectomy,
Right.
You know what I mean, or a double. It prostate cancer doesn't give you a visual thing to say, "Oh my God, that's missing from you, Tom."
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
You're missing your
Yeah.
left arm, Tom.
Yeah, yeah,
What
you-
happened?
But you still have your nuts.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
prostate cancer has no visible thing to add to the fight.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so
that's
then
that's
it's
a
like,
great
oh.
point. Yeah, that is a great point.
We've been to a
and a
nudist
lot
place.
of men don't even think anything about their prostate.
No.
Not till we're 60.
They
We're
don't
not even
know what
supposed
it is.
to.
They
Right.
don't know what it does.
Right.
Because until all of this, I wasn't quite sure what mine did.
Yeah.
Then once I found out what it did, I was like, oh, I don't want to lose that.
Right.
I mean, that's like, what? That's where all the magic is. I don't want to lose that.
I
Are you
should
kidding
have
me?
known about this a long time
That's
ago.
the golden gem, man. I don't want. You can't take the crown jewel of my body.
I know about a goddamn fallopian tube, but I don't know what a prostate does.
Right, man. Yeah. And I mean, it gets granular too when you start
come
learning.
on.
Yeah.
It gets granular in a hurry, and then you're
Yeah.
like, wow, I don't want to lose that, but I'm like, oh, I
That
gotta lose
one
it.
little thing has so much life force in
Yeah,
it. You know? I mean,
The gates of life are closed for me in terms
Yeah.
of reproduction. Like you can't even extract cells
anything
out of me
out
to
of
like
you.
reproduce with
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah.
my son is like
Cloned.
my only bloodline now.
Yep.
Yeah, you have
You
to
know?
be cloned at this point.
Yeah, they'd have to clone me.
Yeah, you have to
Which
become a
might
stormtrooper.
not be a bad thing
You'd
either.
make a great stormtrooper army,
That's
bro.
what I was going to
Yeah.
say. An army of Toms? That would
Yeah.
be intimidating.
That would be
Uh-huh.
intimidating. You shut
that's
some riots
funny.
down.
Yeah.
A wall of you guys.
All of you guys would be like, okay, you know what? Never mind. I'm good.
That's for sure.
Absolutely. Cloning Tom's not a bad
That's
idea.
actually, we might be honest.
I know.
Yeah.
You might just go that way with your
The
path.
CIA is listening.
Yeah, right.
I might get another knock on the door. You know?
Right? You and your friends. Let's all see.
We
Let's
hear
see
you're
you
clone
guys.
friendly.
Yeah, you're clone friendly.
Well, it's important, and I think that as men, we should get checked, and getting a finger up your ass is not the way to do it. I had a female doctor one time when I was getting testosterone treatments, and so she's like, you could tell she was a lesbian. You know, you could just tell. It was fine. I didn't care. I don't care. It's fine. And so she was going to give me my testosterone treatments, but she's like, listen, I don't have your blood work in front of me, but I know you're healthy. I saw your blood work before, but we didn't do it. But I just want to check your prostate before I do this.
Yeah.
Before I give you this extra dose of testosterone.
Right.
And I thought, well, you know, it's not going to tell you anything, right?
Right.
This
Right.
is long after I'd met you.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
She's like, yeah, I know, but in good conscience, I can say at least I checked it, and that way it didn't feel swollen or something like that.
Yeah.
She's like, she's hitting me in the cheek. She's like, she missed my butthole 3 times on her approach, right? And so finally I said, listen, you seem like you're not out of practice at this or something. What did I tell her? Something I was like, you seem way out of practice at this. And
Oh,
she's
my
like,
God.
well, yours is just, and I was like, not in the normal place.
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah, I got it. She got it that time.
I got it now.
Yeah.
As she's tickling your esophagus.
Yeah, she got it. But I
She leaves the
swear.
room because I'm in the room.
Yeah.
She
Shayna's
leaves
right
the
there.
room and he looks at me and he goes, I think she just wanted to stick her finger in my butt.
Right? Yeah,
I think you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was horrible aim.
Terrible.
It wasn't-
That
it was
sounds terrible.
It was a well-lit exam room.
Yeah, like I'm not relocated in any way, shape, or form. Like, you know,
And did your prostate sing to her?
Yeah.
I think she left the room in a hurry.
yeah,
So she might have been,
felt the vibration.
you know, she felt the vibration.
That's
Yeah,
right.
She did.
She knew
Oh,
it
my
was
God.
She
good.
ran out without washing up.
Yeah. Poke and run.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? I'm not even sure that woman worked there.
Who is this strange lady
That
touching
might
my
have
butt?
been the receptionist now that I think
Damn,
about it.
I got to tighten up my practices. But, you know, ask for a PSA.
Yeah.
If you're going
Yes.
for your yearly physical and
God,
you're over
yes.
45,
God,
I would say
yeah, if you're past
35,
yeah,
I would
out
say
35
for-
and
Yeah.
up, because if you were sick to be where I was, you would have already had a
You
blip
would've known.
at 35.
Yep.
You already been on the chart.
Yep.
yeah.
Same with my buddy who was stage 4, who's still in treatment. He was almost dead at 38.
Yeah.
So
Gosh dang.
you know,
I mean, that means he could have even been checked younger.
yeah, he could have
You
been checked
know,
in his late
what I
20s
don't
and would have showed
understand,
something.
How come
Yep.
it's not just part of the blood work anyways?
Well, because
Especially
it's just
for
a
men.
goofy medicine thing, you know. It's the whole like the
That's what they
conventional wisdom. You
Yeah.
know, it's just, well, we've seen that over time, but times have changed. And
Conventional
And
is
cancer
no longer a
is
thing.
rampant.
No. Yeah, and cancer is rampant. And, you know, in the old days, a doctor used to make house calls with a little black bag,
Yep.
and his knowledge was limited to that little
Little
black bag.
Yep.
Well, now there's no such thing as that anymore. So if we've gone that far in, like, just terms of the education of doctors and a treatment, then how far do we need to come in our concepts and precepts of, like, what age should do what?
Yep.
Like women with breast cancer. Who says a 16-year-old can't have breast cancer?
Right. They do get it.
They do, yes.
They do
but
get it.
conventionally,
And they'll tell you-
they're not going to be checking them at
No,
16.
they'll tell you, 40.
Yeah,
Get
when
your
you're 40.
First mammogram at 40, unless there's reason to think.
Right.
Yeah,
Which is ridiculous.
Could be any age.
Sorry. When you start growing them, they should start checking them.
Yeah, man.
Just plain and simple. It should just be part
It's just logical.
of... Yeah.
For all
it's
it costs them
part of
to do.
maintaining your body, man.
For
I
all
mean,
that it
come
costs
on.
them to do.
But they make more money if they don't do that, and
Well,
they
yeah.
don't do preventative maintenance, and they come back and really suck the rest of the life out of you.
Right.
Big Pharma can't make money on off of us if we're well.
Right.
Yeah, true.
So
Very
they don't
true.
want us well. I mean,
Yeah.
look at this drug for the COVID-19.
Yeah,
the virus is
hydroxychloroquine.
hydroxycoccus king.
Yeah.
It fucking is $3,900 for a private insurance and $2,900 for if you're on some sort of
And it makes,
government.
costs $10.
You know what I mean? What?
Yeah, and it's like the
$10
cheapest
to
drug.
make.
It's like
$10 to
so
make.
old.
Yeah.
It's like 75 years old,
Yep.
and it's time tested in these kinds of things, and all the guys in Europe use it.
Yep.
But all of a sudden over here, it became like a big
Gold.
hot topic.
Yeah,
It became
like
a
we've
Gold's
never had it
over
before.
here now.
Oh my God, we've got to import it from somewhere.
Yep.
And-
Right, yep.
Yeah, because surely we can't manufacture it ourselves.
Yeah,
Create any
it's amazing.
jobs.
It's incredible.
Create any jobs.
Yeah.
Take care of our own people.
Right.
Right? I don't know. If anything, this maybe
It's a
will
money
do
machine.
that.
It's all about the money that drives the industry that keeps us alive, but not well.
Right.
Keeps
Yes.
us alive, but
Yep.
not well.
Alive
They
to
don't
keep
want
paying
us
the
to do
bills.
well.
Classy wants to know if she had gloves on. If not, that was a date.
A bad date.
I had a date with a lady right in front of Shaina.
I let it happen.
Yeah, you did.
Shayna.
Wow.
It was so good to watch.
I'm
It's so
pretty sure
comical.
she had a glove on.
She did.
Okay. But you know what? I couldn't see. I was looking at the wall, going, "Where's she looking?"
Yeah.
She was looking at Shaina. Hey, look, I'm doing this. So I don't know how you fix government health care. I don't know how you fix anything.
No,
I don't know how you get people to just respect the fact that we're Americans and let's all work together and make this fucker work.
Right.
But I don't know how to do that
dude.
either.
Right.
I can say that all day, you know what I mean? But I don't know how to implement anything. I don't have any
Yeah.
ideas other than just be fucking nice to the people
Yeah.
around me.
Right.
When we were at the grocery store yesterday or the other day, and the dude is just being indignant, rude, and mean to our checkers. I've been going to that store 20 years. Don't be rude to my ladies.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Get away from me. I don't want to breathe you. I don't want your help. You're no good. I mean, why you got to be mean?
Yeah, I really
That's
think
where
that
it starts.
if we've ever needed just civil discussion and civil logical discussion, it's now.
Yeah.
Without being a Republican or a Democrat or a conservative or a liberal, just common sense logical discussion where A and B moves you to C and 2 + 2 does make 4.
Right.
Yeah, let's be humans.
Right.
Instead
Well-
of these bizarre scenarios and far-reaching angers and far-reaching topics that no Rubik's Cube of government will fix ever.
And I think they've proven that they are not the people for the job.
Oh my God!
They can't work
Out of
together. They can't work with anyone else, and they definitely are not working for us.
If you've had the same job for 50 years and you suck at it, it's time to go.
Yeah.
If you've had the same job for 50 years, you pretty much don't care about it anymore.
No,
How could
no,
you?
don't.
Could you imagine
don't.
working
Yeah.
the same job just 25 years like many have?
Yeah.
But those many
No.
have also retired from those jobs.
Yep.
But yet elected officials are in their 30, 40,
Yeah.
50 years.
In
I'm like,
those positions, they shouldn't even be allowed
no,
to
there's got to be
hold that
caps.
space.
There's got to be caps.
It should be 4
Because-
years.
Yeah, because you know what? You get no new influx of
That's right.
ideas. You get no
That's
new
right.
influx of discussion. It just becomes that machine of like, we do things this way. So now the new guy that does come in has to conform to just
Yeah,
do
you
things
better not
this
change
way.
it up.
Or you
Don't
just
change it 'cause
fight the whole
I've been here
time.
so long, I'm in control.
Yep.
You know, where
It's
we
the
don't
good
need
old
that.
boy club, and
It
we're
is.
just waiting for him to die,
It
which
is.
is wrong
But
because
they've
they're
already
killing
groomed-
us.
Yes, and they've already groomed the next girl
Yep.
boy club because they were in politics now 30 years.
Yep.
So the 30-year veterans
Yep.
are going to replace the 50-year veterans,
Veterans.
and they will become 50-year veterans. Meanwhile, there's no one new in the mix. and
None
there's no,
at all.
None.
Did you
New
see all
And
those
the
old
ones
people that are judges?
nuts.
That's like the crypt keeper's freaking tomb there.
It
It's
is.
like, are you kidding me? Hey,
Like,
listen.
Wouldn't you want to just be spending your money
think
and live
Ruth
on an
Gator.
island at this
Oh,
point, man, and
man.
just be like, bring me
Right.
some cocktails
Yeah.
and let me put my feet up? Like,
Chilling on
why are-
Epstein's Island.
Yeah, like, why are you doing
Well,
any of this?
And how disappointed you would be in yourself, or you should be in yourself, to say, I've been here doing this for 50 years and this is still where we are.
Oh, that would be the ultimate shame.
I mean, that's how they should all feel. We've been doing this, all of us, as a collective for years and years and years, and we're still in the same fucking spot.
Yep.
We haven't moved forward at all in any area.
Mm-hmm.
You
and
know?
in some we're moving backwards.
Yes.
And that's just...
And then we're supposed to have hope that we vote someone else in. Why? It's not going to do anything. It's the same shit. You know, it doesn't matter what you are. If you're a libertarian, if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, that shit doesn't matter when nothing is fucking happening and nothing is changing.
Right.
Give me a break. Now all you're doing is fucking beating a dead horse.
Right.
And saying, look at me, I'm not going to give up on this thing. You know?
Yeah,
it's just like,
Bessie's been gone for 20 years.
Yeah.
Stop beating Bessie.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, we were talking about it, and it was like, how do any of those freaking old people that sit on Congress now even know? When's the last time they've been in fucking public?
It's even the guy, Dr. Fauci, hasn't seen a patient in over 25 years, but yet he's running the universe.
Right.
You know, it's like, dude, you haven't even touched a human in a couple of decades.
Yeah.
Like, why are we listening to you
as
a one voice?
One.
You know, like
one doctor.
He says something and everything locks down, and it's like, I don't know if that's necessarily a great idea.
Yeah. That's what
not because I don't think he's a professional, not because
USA?
I don't think he's been in school and stuff, but I mean, just saying, you can't take one guy's.
But you go to a doctor to get a second opinion
Yeah.
on your cancer.
Yeah, yeah.
But we don't even get a second opinion on our fucking country.
No, yeah, lock it down because he said so.
Me?
Yep, better do that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
And I don't know, people get so mad, Trump, and you know, this and that and this and that. It's like, well, at least he's bringing things to light. At least he's causing arguments. He's causing things to be fucking talked about.
Yeah.
Because we've all been sheep for so long that we haven't even looked at things. We just let them do whatever they want, thinking they're doing it for us.
Right.
But now if you do a little research, you'll find out that they've never done anything for us, no matter what color we are.
Yeah, it's all about the special interest and the money and getting the next election.
Money.
That's it.
You know,
just keep me in power. That's what this is about.
Yep.
You know, and that's why we have 50-year-long senators and
it's crazy.
Good Lord, man.
We had Alicia on the show, right? And so Alicia, we were telling you to go see her down at Spirit Ways. She is a psychic medium, right? And so like she can talk to your loved ones. She can, you know, do that kind of thing. But then she just can tell you things about yourself as well. And so we were talking to her, right? And I was like, it'd be great if you could just tell us what happened to Marilyn Monroe, you know? And she starts laughing and she goes, it's so funny. The first thing that popped into my head that I heard when you said that was JFK did it. And I was like, wow, right? And I said, yeah, and where's her diary? Because in her diary, she kept very detailed things that went on, right? And that was, you know, as part of the whole thing that she was killed to get the diary to, you know what I mean? And she said, all I'm hearing is the JFK family has it.
Wow.
And it's like, wow, that's so funny, right? But all the time, you know, it was really interesting just talking to her and stuff because it's like, right, how many things do go out of this life that no one knows the truth about?
Yeah,
How
true.
many things
Yeah.
do just, and because it's gone now, we just believe what we're being told.
Yeah, like, did we land on the moon 50 years ago? Because we never went back. I just find that weird.
Sean is like, we did it. That's what he's like. And for me, like, the flag it just is like, that looks like there's a rod going across it, holding it. I mean, it just seems weird, right? And don't you think it'd be floating up a little bit? Right, because everything floats away.
We haven't gone back in 50 entire years.
We can't
like
get
the
back
best
there.
we can do is go up in a space shuttle, fly around, and come back down.
Right.
Like, that's all the best we got. But we want to go to Mars.
Right.
Literally, we think we're going to send people there.
But we never went back to the moon.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the whole thing. But again, we believe what they tell us.
Yeah.
And then
we saw it on the TV.
Yeah, they have control of the media, so then you know, that's what you get too, and it's just like, that is so insane to me. I tell Sean that all the time too. And then with spirituality and religion and everything else, it's very much like, what is going on? You know, we never know. You never know. That's why you have to gauge yourself. That's why you have to know for yourself.
I just took it. Oh, my God.
Oh, you're not on.
I had to take a 2-screwdriver pee. I couldn't go any further.
Let's see. I'm just reading some of the comments. Oh yeah, maturity, decency, and mutual respect. Yeah, starting politics. No kidding.
Taking responsibility of what's wrong. Everything is the other party's fault.
Yep. That's exactly. But that's everywhere in life. That's not just here. That's everywhere, right? I mean, even in the healthcare.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, real quick, because we've been on for 2 hours, and we can't keep you here all day.
That's hard to believe.
I know.
Just
It goes
podcast.
so
2
fast,
hours?
Tom.
I know.
My God.
We've just been
Went
chatting.
by fast.
It goes so
it does.
fast.
I'm sure you guys have weights to lift and stuff to do. What
Sunday's
kind of,
always food prep day for us.
Oh, okay.
That's our food prep day, and then I go do legs later on. Yes.
Love it.
are you playing music? What are you doing? Are you jamming? Are you in a band?
Yeah, I'm jamming all the time. Looking for somewhere to record, actually, and I got a new student under me who goes to the School of Rock, who's kind of like a young prodigy.
Yeah.
Who is only 13,
Holy
who is
shit.
insanely talented, sings, plays piano, plays guitar, and he's coming to me for the guitar stuff.
So you're doing lessons now, or are you just doing it just to mentor?
Yeah, I'm doing it more of a mentorship with
for you.
this fella, because he already has a skill set, but
He's
now he
good.
just needs to understand
himself,
technique
yeah.
and make his voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
There's things that are hard to teach about technique, because that's what most guitar players can't teach,
Right.
because it
That's just you.
deals
You bring
with
it.
where do you put the flesh of the hand on the palm, where do you put the flesh of the hand on the fingers to keep
Right.
the other strings quiet as you're doing things.
Right,
and,
right.
There's
Finding your own
techniques-
sound and your own.
and there's techniques you have to just kind of embellish on your own
Yeah.
that you can't be taught per se. Like, hit the string this way and this will happen.
Right.
It won't always happen, because you can hit that string 1,000 different ways.
Right.
So I've been doing that with this fella that's been going really, really well. His dad's a friend of mine, and he kind of approached me. He was like, hey, man, he goes, I think my kid's really got something. He played me a couple of tapes of this kid, and I was like, how old is he?
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
what?
Yeah.
So, been doing that, and I just play all the time. But I do want to record, and it's just hard, when you're this age, finding other guys that are into what you're into, and have
Yeah.
good equipment and can play at a certain level, and then have the time to record.
Yeah.
But if I could find those guys, or just find someone with a really
Right.
great recording system,
Yep.
I would love to just dive in headlong with it to leave something behind.
Yeah.
For whatever
sure.
that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the technology's coming to a place nowadays where you can build that yourself quite inexpensively.
At your house.
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, and we've had that discussion. So, that would be something that I would definitely be exploring
Yeah.
here in the near future.
Well, we always said that we were going to play some music together, so we should try and make that happen.
Yeah.
Even if we come up with some things to do, over the internet, where we can practice together, play together, something
Yeah.
like that, and then come together and play. And we can record right here in this
Yeah.
room as well,
Yeah,
I've
for
got all
sure.
the capabilities for that as well.
Yeah,
But,
that'd be cool.
I mean, you're a long way from us. It's not a long way, but still, would it take you guys an hour or so to get here?
Yeah, an hour on a wide open morning. Yeah,
Yeah,
And throughout
so-
when traffic is normal, you know how it is.
Yeah.
I-25 is just
Is there a wide
disaster.
open morning? Is there such a thing even anymore? A wide open morning on I-25?
No,
Yeah.
unless it's Sundays.
Yeah.
Sundays around 10 or something. It's about the only time maybe
Yeah.
to try to get either the after the church or before the church crowd on I-25, and then after that, it's like, who knows?
Wasn't it nice during like early April and May when there was nobody out?
So
And
great.
gas was like 99 cents
Yes.
a gallon.
Oh, that was
Yes,
tits.
that was
was
so great.
nice. Well, we should try and jam, of course.
Yeah.
I also have another friend that's our age who's right in the same genre of music that we all listen to, that you listen to.
Cool.
He leads more to the heavy side like you do. And
What does he play? Is he a
electric
guitar player? Or is
yeah,
he, yeah,
great
cool.
lead player. This is
Yeah.
a great guitar player all the way around.
Oh, that'd be
Very
fun.
cool.
Scott's really good.
Very cool.
If Scott's band met Tom.
Boy, they'd have some fun.
Yeah,
They'd
they
put you right in the
would.
bed. You'd have a good time.
They would love you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
you would love them because it's very much right up your alley.
Oh, that's cool.
We'll have to see.
And you know what? They're doing a benefit here coming up soon. I should look that up. Poor Till Payday
Oh, right.
is the name of the band. Scott,
That's for someone has cancer.
someone
someone's
has
kid.
cancer. Someone's son has got cancer. Just like you said, cancer is indiscriminate. Doesn't care how old you are.
Right? Yeah, sure doesn't.
And it'll just get you wherever it's going to get you. And
Yeah.
so they're doing a benefit for the family. And,
that's awesome.
And they're a rock cover band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They do everything you could think, the good stuff. Him and I were actually going to start a cover band, a parody cover band, tribute.
Oh, my God.
And we were going to call it Nippleback.
Oh, my God.
And it was going to be all Nickelback songs, but
Done
we were
with
going
parodies.
we were going to change all the words to
Yeah.
be boob related.
Oh,
to
my
be
God.
some sort of a boob related song,
Oh,
you
my
know.
God.
You know, what was that one song? That photograph song.
It's in August.
It's in August. Okay, the benefit is in August, and that's a benefit to benefit Lance Lawrence, and it's at the Dirty Dogs Roadhouse in Golden.
Oh, okay.
And they're just a great, fun band, and everyone in the band, of course, except for the lead singer, because guys our age can't do that anymore. Is our age. You know what I mean?
Cool.
They're approaching, if not full on, in our 50s.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
for me, like I started another band. I was in a band right before I left the radio station.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. We couldn't necessarily settle on a name, but we were doing just hair band covers,
Right.
Motley Crue and
White
all that
Snake
crap.
and yeah.
Stuff that was right out of my range, and I was going to need a break between every couple songs. But still, it would have been a lot of fun.
Sure.
Being in a band is fun.
It is.
I miss playing live music.
Yeah,
And,
I think a lot of people miss live anything right now.
Yeah, well, that's what was my buddy Scott. They lost like 9 or 10 shows during that period because they're playing all the time.
Yeah, man.
And so this is great that they're able to get back out, have this benefit, for the band, help them, but then to help out a kid as well.
Yeah.
So, let's try and figure something out. I'll email you some stuff, and then you work out lead parts for it, and then you record that at your place. Send it back to me. We'll blend it together. I'll put vocals on top. We'll do something like that.
All right.
Yeah, like a virtual jam.
Yeah.
Or we could just go out to their house and hang out.
And jam.
Yeah.
I'll
Jam.
bring some mics in the computer, and we'll
Right.
record.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, then.
Super easy.
Shaina made it so simple. Okay. Let me do my thing. This is my thing. This is where I jam right here. Slowly. Don't get excited. This is not going to happen quickly.
Oh, my God.
It never does.
Hey, watch it. Wow. That's better than a quickie all the time, right? Actually, that was a compliment.
Annie is
Now that
listening
I
from
think-
Durban, South Africa.
Annie, how you doing in Durban, South Africa? What's going on there? That's what's the fun part about this podcast, Tom, is we do have the opportunity to talk to and experience listeners from all over the world. We have listeners that call in from Sweden and Ireland and Iran, Iraq.
We had Dan Hardy on the show and hooked him up with some lady in England.
Yeah, hot little
Wow.
number. Yeah. Her name was Frenchie.
They're
something I remember what her
They're
name was,
emailing each other.
Wow.
Yep,
Yeah.
they connected. Yep, she's from London. And then we even had some people from the UK reach out to us that were relationship experts.
And came on our show.
They came on the
that's
show.
a great thing too. They have a whole program that they do. It's called doingthegroundwork.com. And it is for singles, but it is also benefits couples. Helps you kind of work through some of your past crap
Yeah.
so that you
Gotcha.
can have a healthy relationship in the future.
Oh, wow. Good.
Very
Good
cool.
for them.
And they heard us, and they thought these people are our kind of people, and they wanted to be on the show. And so I thought it was very cool.
Yeah, that was
That
fun.
is.
And then here's Annie from South Africa. She's having a good day. Wonder what time it is in South Africa.
Wow, yeah.
I know, right?
That's like
I know.
a whole day ahead of us, I think.
Feels like, right?
Yeah. Well, it was interesting during the height of the pandemic. We would get on and talk to people in Iran and stuff, and they're like in Iraq, and because I always made fun, I would say Iran so far away.
Yeah.
And then, but they
They didn't find it funny.
they didn't.
Yeah, right.
They didn't.
Several people from Iran called and were not amused.
They corrected
They didn't
him.
get the flock of seagulls
Uh-uh.
reference.
Right,
They
no,
didn't
they
at
didn't
all.
get it at all.
But they're like, nah, there's no fooling around here. You don't leave your house. And they're
You
like,
don't
what?
leave-
They'll shoot you if you leave your house here. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you looked on Reddit, they were making them do like push-ups and shit and whipping them if they caught you out on the street in
Yeah.
Iraq and Iran. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's like, we stay with our family. One guy called from London, and he was like a player, and he had like the bachelor pad. He's like, my pad is full of drugs and booze, and I'm not allowed to have any women over.
Oh, my
I mean,
God.
he
He's like,
called
I'm
us.
so-
He called
I'm
us.
so
and he's
bored.
Like, he's like, I need some nookie. You know what I mean? Because in other countries they didn't play.
I
like
said,
we're playing
I
here.
said, well,
Wow.
why don't you just have someone come over anyways? And he was like, no way. I said, how are they going to know? And he was like, I don't know. I don't want to find out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
right,
I'm not
yeah.
taking the risk.
I was like,
He's like,
all
I'm
right.
horny as hell, but I ain't having somebody come over here that might cough on me.
Yeah.
That's
So
exactly
it's been.
right.
She says she's 21, age 15. I don't know what that means.
That's the time?
Oh, it's 21:15, so that means it's 10 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
Wow.
22, 23, 24, 12, 11, 10, 9 o'clock. 9:15.
Wow, yeah, so they're almost a full day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
9:15 p.m.
I know. What time is it here now?
1:15.
1:15. Oh, that's see, time just flies when you're in the basement.
That's what happens. Come down to the Swallows basement, and before you know it, it's been 3 hours and your shirt's off.
Well, sometimes.
Not today.
Right. I think this is great. Well, thank you for coming.
And thank you for having us, man. That was
Yeah.
so cool.
Man,
it was so good to
absolutely.
reconnect, and
Yeah.
we'll have to do better
more.
at do better at staying on this for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and when you do fire your foundation back up and you start to get some momentum, or even before, let us know. Let's do this again. People
Okay,
need
yeah,
to know.
sure.
We need to make people more aware that men were just as susceptible to a
Devastating, life-altering cancers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just like
that's hidden.
women.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the numbers are as far as prostate cancer, breast cancer, and all that stuff measure up. But at the same time, it's a measurable number.
Yeah.
that
For
needs
sure.
to be made aware of.
It's not a competition. It
No.
shouldn't be
Right,
made to
right,
feel
right.
like a competition. Equally as important, both of them are.
Yeah,
You know, it's life or death, so it's nothing to mess around with.
for sure.
You could be the Susan B. Coleman of prostate cancer. Maybe you're like the strongman Tom Walk. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
maybe.
Or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
we need to be doing stuff like that for us men, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
If-
yeah.
Maybe it's motorcycle rides. Maybe it's hikes. Maybe it's something more manly.
Yeah.
Whatever
sure.
the hell it is.
Yeah.
But I like to walk. What?
You're so funny. You're more manly.
Manly. Slot car races.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
There we
Slot
go.
car for cancer.
There it is.
There you go. That's
Because men
Sean's
my age,
face
we
right
love
there.
slot cars.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Whatever. Fine.
Whatever.
There's a way.
Yeah.
There's a way.
Where there's a will.
Alinda, thank you for speaking up.
I
Even when you
know.
said you weren't going to talk at all. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so
super,
much.
Super
And we'll
gracious.
we'll have an update on you later as it goes on.
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. We'll stay in touch. We'll keep
Everyone
you
will want to know.
keep you in the loop on this craziness.
Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Cool.
All right.
Right on.
Awesome. Thank
Well,
you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
I hope you like what you just heard because you've just been swallowed.
Make sure and listen to us on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, even YouTube and Castbox, or wherever you love to listen to your podcasts.
Give us a like, give us a love, give us 5 stars. Remember to share us with your friends because it makes a difference.
Remember, follow the swallows.